All right, everybody. Here we are.
Woo, woo.
Hello.
Welcome to Draft Night Live with the Weekend Warriors. We are here to walk you through this thing, and we got it all figured out.
Yeah, we're the weekday warriors today, which means we don't get intro music, which is fine. We don't
No
want
intro
to.
music today.
We don't have enough time. See, we are coming to you live right as the Raiders are on the clock in the 2026 NFL Draft. If you want to join us for this watch party, anywhere you are streaming us live, whether that be Instagram, X, Facebook, and anywhere that you're watching us live, you can certainly comment.
YouTube.
And we YouTube, yes.
Not Instagram.
Not Instagram, never Instagram. Although you'll probably
He gets it wrong every week.
Every time.
every week. I'm back, and now I'm back with a picture of Jeremiah. How many people? This is a question that we haven't prepped. But how many do you think are going to cry? How many criers we got?
I almost put
Two.
that down as a question on my list here. I'm going to go.
I got the over.
You got the over? I think
Over
I'm going
on
to
two.
go. I think I'll go 3.
I'll still go over. I'll go 4 and up.
I kind of wanted to do 2.
There we go. All right. But like I said, comment, join the party. It is a watch party. We are well represented. Of course, we've got a couple of Denver Bronco fans who, for the moment, are not a part of the first round of the NFL draft. We'll see if that changes. We do have a Seattle Seahawk who will be there at the last pick of the first round.
Possibly.
I think they will.
We'll have to discuss
We'll
that.
talk,
won't we?
but we'll get there.
So where do we start? So right now, the NFL draft is in Pittsburgh this year.
Yay.
We already have a non-sighting for Aaron Rodgers. I feel like that was a prop bet to see whether or not Aaron Rodgers would be there to start out the draft to
No
then announce
shot.
his return to Pittsburgh. So that has not come through. We just have Cameron Hayward and TJ Watt
There was no shot he'd
out
ever
there
be
with
there.
a terrible towel with Roger Goodell, ready to announce the start of the NFL draft. Now, a couple things for everybody watching while we are all looking up at the Lalone TV here in the Weekend Warriors studios. We will not be spoiling picks. We will be hitting them as they come to us live. So if you're looking for that, go ahead and
Look
go
elsewhere.
look elsewhere.
Get out of here.
Absolutely.
We do have a ticker on the bottom of our screen, so we'll keep track of all the picks. And we do have the Weekend Warrior draft board.
We certainly do.
So let me pop that up. If
Why
you are watching right now, here is our Weekend Warrior draft board. And so you can go ahead and see. So finally developed. It basically goes through every position. It's 1 through 75. We put 75 players up here, and we put down traits and things and who we think they're going to be like, strengths, weaknesses, all that stuff. And you can see right there, looking at the board, our number 1 ranked prospect is Arvell Reese. Number 1 overall. He's also the number 1 for his position. So we're going to be going through this board as we talk through some of these players. So it's here for our enjoyment.
Yes, absolutely.
And you're welcome.
Yes, absolutely. Yes.
It looks
Lots of work.
great.
It looks fantastic.
Good props to Ralph for putting that together on such a short
Ralph is
turnaround.
amazing.
Speaking of props and who's amazing,
Sometimes.
we do have our most amazing commentator of the show joining us on the chat line. Sports Girly, the sexiest commentator, dare I say, has a comment. Happy birthday, Luke. So happy you got drafted by the awesome Weekend Warriors. Yes, we are belated on the happy birthdays, but happy birthday, Luke.
Thank you.
We'll go to our
thank
live
you.
chat screen, and you can see her chat right there.
Look at this.
Look at this. We
This is
are.
the work going in.
Top tier production by Tanner, our loyal listener and commentator coming to us live. Okay, so, but yes, happy birthday. Anything you want to say about another year around the sun?
It's terrible.
Terrible.
It's terrible.
Well,
Why is it terrible?
It's just I turned 31 this year.
Uh-huh.
I don't know if you remember because of how long ago that was for
I do
you.
remember the 30s.
Paul Revere was there.
So yeah, I'm sure. I don't know if you helped him with the lanterns, putting them in the church or not, but you just, as you get older,
Wow.
things start to hurt more. It's awful.
On my 30th birthday, I'll never forget this. I woke up that morning
That's good.
and I was in pain. And it started from there on out. And I realized in my 30s, I gained a lot of weight. I was very unhealthy. And by the time I hit 40, I said, I've got to fix this. And this is why you have this now.
I'm already 10 years ahead of you, bud.
So, but I get you. All right, come on.
And here's my petition. while we wait for the pick that everybody already knows is coming.
Who picking? Who are they going to take?
You know, right
Gee,
now
I wonder.
we have
I
a
wonder.
live bet available to us. So Ralph, this probably
Yes.
applies more to you.
Okay.
If you want to risk $5,000,
$5,000.
you can earn $1 by betting on who will be the number 1 overall pick in the draft, Fernando Mendoza, minus 50,000 right now.
So I got to put $50,000 to make
to
a
win
buck.
to win 100. No,
Oh.
to win 100.
Correct.
Yeah.
To win 100.
Yeah.
I was
50,000.
lowering it to something.
Somebody is out there doing it. Somebody is out there.
Stupid bet.
Yes. Because, well, I mean, listen, if it's a guaranteed profit, if it's a guaranteed profit.
Have we ever entered outside of the Baker Mayfield year? Have we ever entered an NFL draft not knowing who the number 1 overall pick was? I struggle to think. I suppose Cam Ward was a question, but by draft day, we knew who it was. We know who is going number 1 this year. It's Fernando Mendoza.
I think we were fairly confident Baker Mayfield was going to be first in that year too.
Again, this was tainted by me and perhaps my confidence in the one, the only Sam Darnold, if Sam Darnold truther on the show, as I am, as everybody knows me to
Sam
be.
Darnold jersey.
Yeah,
Super Bowl jersey.
yeah, that's fresh. That wasn't draft day,
This was
baby.
fresh.
But I thought it was going to be Sam Darnold on the day of. I didn't know that it was going to be Baker Mayfield.
Wasn't he second or third? Where did Sam Darnold go? Second?
Sam
third?
Darnold went
Third?
third to the Jets. He went to the Jets, obviously. Who went second? He might have gone second.
No, he went third. I looked
Who went
this
second?
somebody bad. Saquon.
Somebody bad.
Terrible running back.
Instant
Saquon
regret.
Barkley.
Somebody bad.
Instant regret from that comment. My
Right?
God.
Well,
No,
there's a lot of
that
people
was
that-
honestly one of the most stacked years. You had Baker, Saquon, Denzel Ward,
Josh Allen,
Sam Darnold, Josh Allen,
Lamar.
Bradley Chubb, Quentin Nelson, Roquan Smith, Josh Rosen,
Josh
Minka
Rosen.
Hot tub
Fitzpatrick,
lover.
Vita Vea, like Jair Alexander. That was a very stacked first round.
But I
And
guess
then you also had Sony Michel and Rashad Penny.
sure. But back to the thing. minus 50,000. What's
That's stupid.
yeah?
Well, and this is what I was going to say. So right now they've shrunk it. It's 8 minutes a pick. It used to be, I think, 10 or 15, 10. And then, in my opinion, if you have the first overall pick, you should not be allowed to have more than 60 seconds.
You've had the entire.
You've had literally since the end of the regular season. Sometimes even before the end of the regular season, you might already be locked into that last pick. But like you know who you're picking. If you don't know who you are picking by the time you get on the clock, you don't deserve to have the pick.
I would agree. And that's why I think it goes hand in hand with my earlier comment of it's been a while since we've not known who the number 1 overall pick is going to be. Bitter Dolphin fan on the chat saying perhaps the last time that we saw it that we didn't know heading into draft day was the Manning Leaf draft. Perhaps.
I was, I believe, 3 when that draft happened. So I can't speak to that.
Yeah.
I thought that, I mean, maybe this is obviously hindsight being 2020. I thought most people kind of knew that it would be Manning. But again, I might be rewriting history because of how young I am.
I think it was the only one that I can think of that is in some realm of remembrance is the year that the Chiefs took a left tackle. I want to say Eric Fisher.
Goodness gracious.
Yeah.
Which was, I think, 2013.
That feels like the last time that we didn't know heading into draft day who the number 1 pick would be ever since then. But I digress. So, guys, we have about 5 minutes left as Luke laments the fact that the Raiders have had months.
There's a trade coming.
Yeah.
There's a trade, I'm telling you.
It's absurd.
But again, even if
The
there
Cardinals
was,
are trading up to take Ty Simpson. That's what they're doing. I'm kidding.
even if there was a trade, this should have been figured out by now.
You would think.
There's nobody else to talk about. And I'll even go a step further.
I'll
go a step further. I think that if you're the second overall pick, you only get 2 minutes. Because as we've just discussed, everybody knows who the first overall pick is going to be.
The Raiders are picked.
Everybody
The
knows.
Raiders have called Fernando Mendoza. We have 4 minutes and 20 seconds left on 4:20 left on the ticker. So Fernando Mendoza has not moved from his seat. He is at
Yeah.
home in Coral Gables. surrounded by family and
Has a
supposed
number
loved
one
ones.
pick ever not been there?
I have to
That-
imagine.
Now that is a first, I feel.
Nope.
I can't think of.
Easy answer.
Okay. Who is
Alex Smith?
2020.
COVID.
Oh my gosh.
it? That does not count.
That it absolutely counts.
Absolutely does not count.
Absolutely counts. I promise you.
So-
that year they were not present.
We have a legend on the chat line.
Yes, we do.
Raven Kid
Yes.
says, yes, Eric Fisher was 2013, and God, was that a weird year.
That was a bad year. I'd have to go back and look and find, because I think that there are similarities from that draft to this draft, in that, from my understanding and my viewpoint from above of how this draft looks, I do not feel like we're looking at a 2023 year. I do not feel like we're looking at even the year that like Patrick Peterson and Von Miller, like where you're looking at the top of the draft, and as long as you didn't pick a quarterback, you were guaranteed to get a Hall of Famer. This year, for this particular draft, I know we haven't gone too deep into it,
Right?
but my feeling on it is that this is a depth draft where you will walk away probably with a bunch of starters, the more picks you have. But outside of, I'm gonna go two players. I feel like there are only two players that feel like they have Hall of Fame talent, at least that we know
In
of
this draft.
In this draft,
Two players.
Two players. Whereas in previous years, there's usually about five just off the top. You know, there's always going to be a third rounder that pops, that becomes a gem. There's always going to be, you know, an undrafted free agent like Brock Purdy who makes a name for himself. Sure. But I'm saying, at least off the top, and how you feel about the talent overall heading into the draft, I feel like there's only two. And those two I would put down as Jeremiah Love. He feels like the most refined, dare I say, an even better prospect than where are the Raiders, who
Jeremiah Love.
Yeah, Jeremiah Love feels like a better overall prospect than even Genty was from last year. Jeremiah Love.
I love Jeremiah Love.
I
mean, I love.
You love
me
yourself a
some
nice
Love.
running back.
I really do.
And then
Goodell is walking to the podium.
The only other player that I find to be a Hall of Fame worthy talent is Caleb Downs as a safety, from the safety position, which is why it's so weird. Pick 14 is a guaranteed Hall of Famer, so you're wrong there. Phil says Raven Kid, and
we can't play the commissioner, but he's going on right now.
And the pick is in. Fernando Mendoza, indeed.
Whoa! How did he already have the hat?
Oh my gosh!
How did he already have the hat?
Conspiracy. Fernando Mendoza is now doomed to purgatory, otherwise known as being the quarterback for the Las Vegas
there
Raiders.
was it looked like a younger brother trying to get a handshake, and he got completely snubbed, and then there's this awkward hug, handshake with grandfather.
So many Raider hats. The whole family got Raider hats. All right, guys. So let's do it with the the pick.
Awkward.
Fernando Mendoza. What do we think, guys? The Raiders are going under a new regime. Already have signed Kirk Cousins, so this was much expected. What do we feel like? Success or no success?
When you look at the draft board that we have, I thought this was interesting. We're comping him to Jared Goff. Goff-esque. I don't know what you guys think about that.
Jared Goff, I really do think the comp is Kirk Cousins. It just happens to be right there.
Okay, well, you're wrong. You know, if we look at his strengths, I mean, you know, ball placement, decision making, I agree with that. Pocket poise, efficiency. He definitely is limited in his mobility. He tends to avoid the middle of the field. So I agree with all that. I think this is a fantastic pick. This is the pick for the Raiders. This is their franchise guy going forward. I think great pick. Raiders have done a great job this offseason. Very excited for them. That's where I stand.
Luke, do you feel like Fernando Mendoza in years prior, or even in, let's say, the year after this draft, he would still be worthy of a number one overall pick? Because I always find that to be my case on how I judge when we're talking about the tip-top of the draft, where Cam Ward had this concern for me, where he was a number one overall draft pick as a quarterback in that draft. But I worried that even the year prior, he would have been the number 4th quarterback in that draft.
I do not think for a second that he'd be the number one overall draft pick in quite a few classes, to be perfectly honest. I don't think, I mean,
let's compare him to Caleb Williams.
I would take Caleb Williams. I have the list right here.
Okay.
Him and Cam Ward, coin flip.
I agree.
I'd probably, I don't think it matters who you pick there. You're getting kind of the same concept of a player regardless. I would take Caleb Williams. Honestly, I'd consider even taking Bryce Young. Trevor Lawrence for sure.
That's
Burrow,
kind of insulting.
Murray, Mayfield.
That's kind of insulting. Bryce Young, I would consider over Bryce Young over Fernando Mendoza.
We saw Bryce Young start to put together some really good footage and game film last year. And he was drafted to one of the worst teams who then gave up like everything just to get him. It's not his fault that the Panthers made a terrible decision. That was the year the Panthers traded.
Panthers traded everything. Traded the future number 1 overall pick.
They traded away who would have been his best weapon in DJ Moore.
Yep.
They traded away any other prospects. I'm not 100% convinced that Fernando Mendoza is really that much better than Bryce Young.
I feel like Fernando Mendoza is just a floor player in that he raises your floor. I just don't know if, and what I normally look for, especially in a number 1 overall pick, even regardless of position, but certainly from a quarterback position, I want a ceiling raiser. I want a quarterback that almost like a Lamar Jackson, where perhaps the offense can be unto himself. And I have trepidation on Fernando Mendoza being able to fulfill that expectation. I do think where he ranks and where he can be at his best, I think he's being put in a very good situation, at least for the long term, potentially, where you've got a head coach coming in with you from the offensive side of the ball. I think they've addressed and attacked the offensive line. So we'll see what they do with the rest of this draft. You certainly want them to go ahead and pick up a few more pieces here and there throughout the draft to allow him to both stay upright as well as be able to throw to somebody to get open, because Ashton Genty had this problem last year where we thought he would be an offense unto himself and he was unable to get anything going beyond the backfield because he kept getting stuffed back there. So I do wonder whether or not he will be able to raise the floor. I think he's not to the same level of a Brock Purdy or a Tua Tagovailoa where he needs to throw to guys getting open. He is a guy that can throw and go within the offense, the rhythm of the offense. And again, we're going to talk about a guy whose at least system has shown quarterback success in the past, certainly this past year en route to a Super Bowl run. So I consider myself in a stacked division. I think that the odds are against him.
Goodell is approaching the podium
for the number 2 pick with the New York Jets. All right, this is supposedly going to be between 2 edge rushers, I think is where we all believe that this will go.
This is for sure going to be Bailey or Reese.
Or Arvell Reese.
I think it'll be Reese.
I think it'll be Reese too.
And it's Bailey.
It's Bailey.
I got that correct.
You did. Good on Phil.
So before the show, let's give them a rundown of what we did before the show.
So before the show, we had a series of questions that I asked to pose on and kind of have a little playful competition throughout the night. We asked a few questions such as how many trades will there be tonight? How many quarterbacks will be taken? When will Jeremiah Love be drafted? Who do we think might end up being the offensive and defensive rookie of the years? And just a few other ones.
The one that matters at this moment was who was going to be pick number 2. And I was correct with David Bailey. Now, obviously, I was correct. Does that mean that I believe he was the correct pick? Now, I think Arvell Reese is more of the prospect. David Bailey, to me, has just always seemed to fulfill the shoes that he's in. Like he was very impressive to me on his tape. Unfortunately, destroying ASU week in and week out within the Big 12 under Texas Tech. Like, say what you will about how Texas Tech underperformed in the playoffs. Their defense still showed up. It slowed down Oregon as best as one could at that point in time, and being overmatched in their offense, not being able to help them out. But David Bailey was certainly at the spear point of that. And I find him to be a player that, while right now is not more impressive than perhaps Ruben Baines or Arvell Reese, I find him to be the best prospect in that I think that he can grow and that he can fulfill those shoes of a best projected edge rusher of this class.
So, okay.
Yes, go ahead.
No, I mean, I'm going to agree with you. I really like this guy a lot. We're comparing him to, I don't know what you think about Hassan Reddick. What do you think about that? You don't remember that guy. Okay.
I like him more than Hassan.
I like him more than Hassan. Okay. That's where I was like, I think so, but I think I like him a little bit better. So that's where the stutter was.
So let me ask you this. Not that I want to get off him real quick, but the Cardinals are up right now, if I remember right.
Yes, pick 3.
So, and we are Phoenix. Left. So we got 4 minutes left. Can we talk about what we think is going to happen here? We can always come back to Bailey, but
yeah,
this is moving fast. I mean, we kind of thought this was going to move fast.
Yeah, is the 8 minutes new this year? I feel like it is.
It feels fast, right? Because even when we first started out, we had a discussion on when the draft was, let alone that how long it was going to be, and 8 minutes felt like a long time because I thought it was 15 minutes. But
if you're the Cardinals, you have James Conner coming off an injury. Do you go after a Jeremiah Love?
No. You get Arvel Reese.
And Jeremiah Love is this guy, man, I like him. I like him a lot.
Look, if you're the Arizona Cardinals, I feel like they are trying to be the Atlanta Falcons of 2 seasons ago, where the only form of hope that you have is being extremely good on one side of the ball, because they only have the ability to be great on offense. In theory, right? Like whether or not their quarterback
Cardinals.
Yeah, I'm saying it's the only thing that they're capable of. It as far as talent, where they've got tight end position locked down. Marvin Harrison, in theory, should be a talent. And then if you get a running back to tie it all together, that is a functioning offense with a lot of potential.
I disagree with that actually.
Okay,
I think their defense is where they can really strive. And they need help, but also they just need I think they have a lot of good players on defense. We just haven't seen them because they've been hurt.
I think in an ideal world, the Cardinals trade down. Let's catch up on the text line here. So Sports Girly makes a comment that makes a lot of sense. Kind of sucks how you go from being the best in college to the worst NFL team. Normally that's how it works. However, sometimes you do fall upon a random Caleb Williams Bears team who isn't necessarily the worst.
This year, the Chiefs picking 9.
Yeah, sometimes they happen to go down, and depends on need. And of course, if you're a quarterback, you're pretty much destined. It is, that's what the money's for. Next, Raven Kid has a couple comments. He is also surprised about how I had Reese there. I'm shocked considering the Jets pre-draft interviews, mentioning that Arvel Reese was the only one that was brought in for a pre-draft interview on part of the Jets. Why a lot of people thought that he would be the pick.
It must have gone real bad.
Either it went bad, or if you have a favorite, right, and you think, I feel secure based on my investigation that David Bailey's good and he's who we would want. We just need to be convinced otherwise. I can see a world where you're like, let's see if he wows us. Let's see if Arvel Reese has the ability.
The due diligence.
Yeah, the due diligence. I keep going back to the Bears just because it seems to be a familiar spot, where that was a year that they gained a lot of flack by not even inviting the number 2 quarterback option in Jaden Daniels at that time. And certainly the year after the season of their rookie years, people had a lot of flack to give in that regard. Raven Kid also says the Cardinals would be dumb to go Love here. Now we do have a pick in for the Cardinals.
Who is it, Raven Kid? Come on. Who are they picking?
I think it has to be Arvel Reese. If he falls to you at 2, you do need help on the defense, and you are praying that if your guys can stay healthy this year with Reese, who is the perfect, he can help you win now, but he's also hopefully just going to get better. I think that's absolutely who you go with. I think even if you get Jeremiah Love, you're going to be in a position that is similar to Janty last year, where at the end of the day, it doesn't matter how good you are. If your offensive line is bad, they're just bad. And I don't know if Love can really carry them that well. I also, unfortunately, until Marvin Harrison proves that he is worthy of the 3rd overall pick, I'm not convinced that you should be considering him a cornerstone of that offense. At this point, Michael Wilson looks more to be the cornerstone of your wide receiver room. But
right now he's just a mold of unrealized talent.
This is the only time of year you see excited Cardinal fans. I think it's
the only time. But it's every year.
All right, so Raven Kid has seen whatever the pick is, and I'm imagining it's going to be Jeremiah Love based on his comment of mind-boggling. But we still don't know.
Tell us. Don't tell us.
We still don't know. Cardinals pick is in. Roger Goodell's
slowly walking up there.
Here we go. He's going to be announcing, do we have a Love made in heaven? Cardinals are staying at 3 and selecting
Jeremiah Love.
They listen to Ralph. Because Ralph knows what he's talking about. You can't pass on this guy.
You absolutely can't.
All right,
you just can't.
So Ralph, I have it as 2 blue chip Hall of Fame level talents in this draft. One of which was Jeremiah Love. Obviously, you found that to be a marriage. Are there concerns that you would have, such as with Genty of last year going to the Raiders and being squelched as far as value is concerned because of a ineptitude across the offensive line? Is there a concern that the Cardinals could mess this up in spite of themselves with a talent such as Jeremiah Love going to them?
Let me say this. The Cardinals are the most predictable team in the world, and they're very bad at what they do. Okay? And I really mean that.
Predictable and bad.
They're predictable and bad.
They're
And
predictably bad. That's
this
worse.
is exactly what I said they were going to do. They were going to take Love at 3. They're going to trade into the back end of this round, and they're going to draft a quarterback that's not the answer in Ty Simpson. And they're going to walk away thinking they had a great day one, and it's a disaster. But that's what they're going to do. I guarantee you. Is Jeremiah Love a good pick? He is. Is he going to struggle with that line? Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Right. So is he something to build on foundationally in the future? Yeah. If you do things right, he could be that guy. But I feel for him going to this organization.
So 2 things I want to say here. One, Ralph got a correct pick here with what pick Love will be picked at or drafted at. Ralph guessed 3rd. Phil guessed 7th, and I guessed 4th. I thought he was going to get picked up right here, either by the Titans or somebody seeing that he fell to 4 and trading up to get him. And I think the Titans, we're only 3 picks in. I think the Titans are already the early winner of this draft.
Really?
Because they're going to get Arvell Reese at 4.
They're going to get Arvell Reese or Sonny Styles, or I still claim that you can make a claim to reach for Caleb Downs here because the beauty of the Titans right now is outside of quarterback, they need help.
They need everything.
Whoever you find to be the best player, and I think you would have been worried that it was Jeremiah Love if you were the Titans, honestly, because I don't know that as much as I'm worried about the Cardinals, I'm certainly frightened that the Titans could have possibly just not utilized Jeremiah Love effectively because they just didn't have a responsible team in order to utilize him correctly.
You know, when Raven Kid says mind-boggling, I want to ask you, so did you expect anything different, Raven Kid? It's the Cardinals we're talking about. Why would you expect anything and you guys missed the most important text.
Because which was?
Food is here. Come and get it.
Yes, we do.
I almost went and got it. I almost was like, oh, okay.
That's funny. Look, the Cardinals, if we're going to still continue to beat this dead horse, or I guess this dead bird,
Hi, Bob.
which is fair. They in a market that definitely needs some hopium, definitely needs a bit of optimism. Yeah. They're going to make headlines. This is an exciting pick. If you are the Arizona Cardinals, who have now moved off of their little problem, who have now have a Jacoby
little problem.
Yeah, you're like
got that.
Who now have new options at quarterback and now has a new running back. Like you're upgrading at the non-important positions. Congratulations. I don't know that I necessarily am buying what the Cardinals are going to be selling. And quite frankly, I don't know specifically with Jeremiah Love whether or not he prevents you from picking at the top of next year's draft alone.
There's 2 things that sell tickets: winning and offense. You're not going to win, and currently you're not going to have that good of an offense. So what you're going to see happen here is like 3 or 4 weeks into the season, maybe 5 or 6, depending upon how the home games and away games are scheduled. You're going to see a lot of hope. You're going to see a lot of optimism. You're going to see what Cardinals fans do every single year. They're going to come out. They're going to lose some close games, and people are going to be like, oh, they're not as bad as we thought they were. And then it's just all going to fall apart more and more and more as the season progresses. You're going to see more and more. You're going to see every pick from Monty get hurt for the 3rd, 4th, and 5th time.
Monty.
And you're going to see Monty get fired, and we're going to have yet again an uneven cycle, but with the GM and the head coach.
So the Tennessee Titans are on the clock.
Triple H.
With their pick is in. It's conflicting graphics there, honestly. But supposedly the pick is in. Honestly, they've been gifted a pretty substantial gift because I don't.
It's hard to mess this up.
Yeah, anywhere that you find to be the best defender, I think is where you can go here and not be wrong. Look at that balding room. My goodness, so many bald heads.
You say that, but there's actually only like 3 baldies.
4 balding men in that Tennessee Titans room. My goodness.
While you're looking at baldies, we got Raven Kid saying Styles or Reese is a slam dunk, no bias.
Sonny Styles, while I do not have him as a Hall of Fame talent, I do have him as the cleanest prospect in that it
So he showers. That's what I'm hearing. That's good.
Yeah,
I think you should
showers,
shower.
good
It's
hygiene.
important.
Yeah, absolutely.
You
He
know?
has the ability to be just a absolute stud and solid guy from day one. I think that he's a plug and play guy, and that you will not have a learning curve with implementing him into the system. He can just shore up a linebacking core over there for the Tennessee Titans and a defense that's sorely needs it.
And Dominic says Mike LaFleur did learn from the best. So
Yeah.
And
apparently not though.
Goodell walking up to the podium. Raven Kid doing an excellent job of teasing us without
Yes.
spoiling us.
He's a teaser.
It's like that perfect thread here.
This is why he's single.
And the pick is in. The Tennessee Titans with the 4th overall pick select Carnell Tate.
I love it.
What is going on?
So Carnell Tate, wide receiver out of Ohio State. Many have considered him to be the best wide receiver out of this draft, although a lot of people thought that there would be a multitude of wide receivers. I'd say if we're going to find a run here in this draft, I think we'll walk away from the first round with a plethora of first round wide receiver options being taken a lot. However, it looks like Luke Wright is not only confused, he is, dare I say, disgusted by this take on behalf of the Tennessee Titans, who he just moments ago said it's going to be hard to mess this up.
By the way, Triple H will be here probably in about an hour, and he will be able to talk through his team and his pick there. But go ahead.
Triple H is going to be here.
He is. He's joining us.
The WrestleMania just ended.
Wrong Triple H. But go ahead.
Okay. I am truly astounded.
He's shocked.
You had legitimately two picks you couldn't screw up. You had two choices you couldn't screw up. And to be honest, I was even willing to throw in the third with Sonny Styles. Like if they had picked him, I would have been totally okay with that. I would have thought still the mistake, but I could have at least accepted it. You go with a wide receiver.
The best wide receiver in the draft, probably.
I don't even
not by leaps and bounds.
No,
I don't even know if I agree with that.
We had him ranked number 1.
We had him ranked number 1, but there's a difference between the year that Marvin Harrison came out, where he was leaps and bounds the best wide receiver, and the guy who is by inches the best wide receiver.
If Jordan Tyson didn't have a huge injury history, he probably could have been number 1 here. But it just blows my mind that you need so much help,
defensively.
Defensive, offensive, special teams, coaching, general managing, ownership.
Wow.
At this point, I am questioning every level of this organization.
Wow.
You needed so much. You just needed raw talent. I don't like the Cardinals drafting Love because I just think you should never draft a running back that high. But I will freely admit, in terms of pure skill and talent, Love did deserve to be in that echelon. To skip out on when you desperately need defensive playmaking, to skip out on arguably the best defensive prospect and the best, for sure, the best safety in this draft, if not one of the best defensive prospects overall.
And Giants have an immediate pick. That is it.
Yeah.
they you know what that signals to me is that they did not expect to have a guy there, which would
no. I promise you, if you look at any draft board, any mock draft, from anybody seriously taking this like at a professional level, but nobody had Arvell Reese and Caleb Downs falling to 5 for the Giants.
So my question to you, Ralph, is that when Carnell Tate gets taken here, that's on the offensive side of the ball. Robert Saleh coming in, having his bald reunion tour over there in Tennessee. Of course, Robert Saleh, I think maybe across the board we can all agree, undoubtedly a great defensive-minded head coach. Coordinator, I should say. Coordinator remains to be seen about head coach.
We've already seen it.
Remains to be seen.
We've already seen it.
We've seen it in New York.
And it was bad.
And it was bad, but it's New York.
But it was also the Jets. Not even the Giants.
But it was bad. But go ahead.
My point being here, Ralph, is that if you have that much faith out of the defensive side of the ball and coordination, and you think that you have that much of an edge, does it not behoove you to go out and find production for a smattered and tattered Cam Ward who took a beating, who took a shellacking last year, throwing it to the ghosts of Charles Okonkwo and who's the wide receiver that they got that was suspended for a year?
Are you talking about Chiga
Okonkwo, but also
Calvin Ridley?
Calvin Ridley, when they have nothing out there for him to throw to in the form of Cam Ward and not knowing where he's going. Is this not a fair move to go offense side of the ball if you trust your defensive minded head coach to shore that side up?
Yeah, I guess it is. I mean, I don't agree. I don't agree with it, but I guess you're making a point.
No lineman has been taken, by the way.
But
You could have Cam, it doesn't matter who Cam's thrown the ball to if he doesn't have time to throw the ball.
But it's just, I understand where he's saying. I get where he's coming from. You got to give Cam something. I mean, last year he was throwing to nobody. Who was he throwing to? Tyler Lockett, who's 97 years old.
Oh, Tyler Lockett.
Right? I mean,
yes,
so
beating the Cardinals.
I think DK is a very good young talent. I think when Ridley was healthy, he had quite a few very good games.
Stop it.
He did.
Three at most on an 17 game schedule.
Which he didn't play all 17 games, which I think is probably the bigger issue here.
Can you catch up on we should catch up on the
Absolutely. All right, here we go. Tanner talking about this pick out of Tennessee, saying, didn't you just say, Luke Wright, offense sells tickets? And what does Tennessee Titans need to do? They need season tickets.
They need somebody to protect Cam Ward so he can generate some offense.
Free agency.
Raven Kid says, watch for the Chiefs to move up, talent falling where they have big needs. Indeed, actually, I would say out of all the beneficiaries of where this draft is going thus far, the Chiefs, who desperately needed defensive talent, they need blue chippers, I would say, was where the Chiefs are, and certainly not in the secondary. But they're somebody who can move up, I would say, are beneficiaries of this because they can make do with Patrick Mahomes and whatever carcasses that they decide to throw out on the offensive side of the ball. And then, of course, Bitter Dolphin fan says, pains me to say this, but Lemon from SC is probably
That's not Bitter Dolphin fan.
Oh, just your brother.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Just my brother. That's Dominic.
Your brother.
Wow.
The Ralph was an okay hockey player truther.
Yeah.
Pains me to say this, but Lemon from SC is probably the best wide receiver.
We have the best picture of Mekhi Lemon on our draft board. I've got to bring this.
Yes, you did.
I saw this picture and I was like, oh.
I did it on purpose.
I fully believe that you did.
There
yeah, there he is.
There it is.
As soon as I saw that, I was like, "Oh, that was intentional."
And I love that picture.
And anyway, if there's a picture that says "draft me," it is that.
It is. Give me your wallet is what it says.
He's already locked in.
It says, "Give me your wallet."
No, he's just locked in.
It does. It says, "I'm taking your wallet right now."
Instead of "give me your wallet," give me the bag because I'm getting there.
All right, let's go back to chats.
All right. Then your brother says he was only okay at hockey. Okay, so
you missed Raven Kid. Oh no, you got Raven Kid.
It did spur a discussion on Sala. All right, so the Giants, they are doing the first of their two picks in the top 10. Of course, Dexter Lawrence. Funny. Dexter Lawrence, of course, going from the New York Giants Meadowlands to Cincinnati, allowing the Giants to pick up a second pick in the top 10 and in the form of pick number 10. Now, when you have two picks this high up, Luke, what do you do with the fifth pick overall? Because if there was a strength for the New York Giants, I would argue it is on the defensive line.
And you just keep on building it.
You keep on building it.
You just keep on building it.
Ralph, is too many edge rushers a problem?
is at the podium.
At Seattle.
Along with two people that I don't know what they're here for, but they're clearly Giants fans.
And also, we are so the Giants, the pick is in. I think we're
with the fifth
pausing.
Oh, taps. That's what it is.
That's what it is. Luke, I would say that one loser thus far of the draft is you with your prediction of how many trades were you projecting to be?
I was projecting 5 trades.
Yeah, I think that I picked 2 and I feel very good.
I was expecting like
the Cardinals. I thought would be where we'd.
I wasn't expecting, because at this point, why would you trade? All these good players have fallen. There's no reason to trade.
Still on the board.
That's what I'm saying. Like you just don't pick anyone else. With the 5th overall pick from the New York Giants select, they got to split it up between the two of them.
They're saying every other
and
word.
It looks like Arvell Reese is finally off the board. Finally off the board.
So they have him as a linebacker. I think he's projected to be
He's edge.
something of a
He's-
Micah Parsons.
Yes.
Possible
Yeah, he's gonna-
hybrid.
Micah Parsons light.
Whatever defense
Yeah.
they want to play, he's going to fit in there perfectly.
And again, remember, this was one of the few picks that, at least to whatever the ticker is online, and there could be some funny business happening there. But that was a quick pick. That was a quick pick. The moment that they saw that the Tennessee Titans decided to swerve and go offense for right or wrong, the Giants decided to just take the best talent available, presumably even on the edge, bolstering a strength as they certainly have. You talked about Hassan Reddick earlier. Hassan Reddick's on the Giants over there right now. So he's so we will see how Arvell Reese enjoys the Meadowlands and that turf over there. He fell a little bit from where we were. Now the Cleveland Browns are on the clock with only just over 4 minutes left to go.
I think they're going to draft Shedeur Sanders.
No, that was last year.
Oh,
and
that was last
That was
year's
the story of
mistakes.
the first
Okay, yeah,
round
yeah, yeah.
where every pick was supposed to be.
Just
Shedeur.
a quick correction here.
Cleveland
trade.
Browns.
We have one. We have a
All
trade.
right. And they have traded to Kansas
Oh.
City. So and before we, with us reacting to this live, everybody agree? Reuben Baines?
Yes.
Everybody?
Yes.
You have
That
to.
it has to be that
This would be a great pick for them.
if for some reason Reese had not been there, I think regardless, this pick would have been there. But the Cleveland Browns, we'll have to see. The Chiefs get number 6, Browns get number 9. And it looks, I hate when they do this, a 74 and 148. So that's probably like a third rounder and a fifth rounder, I think, off of the top of my head.
Yes.
And the Chiefs immediately know where they're going with this. You know, one thing I don't know off the top of my head is when you trade in, do you get a fresh timer? So the Browns had like 4 minutes left to go.
I thought they do.
We're gonna be shocked. Raven Kid CJ tells us.
So we said Reuben Baines across the board here was where we all
Is it
said-
Caleb Downs?
We'll see.
That wouldn't be
Of
bad
course,
either.
they're going to
Or
prolong this because Arvell Reese has not had his moment.
I'm actually kind of leaning towards offensive line here.
Well, no. Okay, so we all agreed that the original thought was edge. I would be shocked if it's offensive line.
Best available is
I
Sonny
think-
Styles.
This is what between one of two positions. This is either going to be, of course, Reuben Baines, the best remaining edge rusher we have available to us, or Caleb Downs. Because if there's a team
I
that
wouldn't be shocked by either of those, though.
so when you're taking in the
I'm
teasing
taking
information,
it, yes, I'm taking in the teasing
the
information.
immortal.
I've been
Raven
given
Kid.
the information here.
That's funny. All right, so Arvell Reese is having his moment in the sun. All of Pittsburgh is enjoying and clapping for Arvell Reese. Going to
It's a great pick for the Giants.
I think that's amongst the best outcomes that you could have hoped for if you're the Giants.
And they still have number 10.
Yeah,
And
to do
at
with as
this
they
point,
please.
there will be good offensive line there to help shore up that position group for you, which I think they do desperately need help on there as well.
Yeah, and they're going to probably be looking at either Spencer Fano or Francis. I keep messing this Maiuga.
Maiuaga. I think, to be clear here, I'm not 100% sure. I'm not great at names.
Yes. So as we're going through, I do wonder if this allows the Giants to even trade back themselves. Obviously, the Browns, I think, look, if you're the Browns, first year head coach, you've got a possible franchise quarterback in the form of Shedeur Sanders. I think that acquiring more talent, moving down just 3 spots, especially if probably your biggest need is offensive linemen, and at worst, you probably know the Chiefs aren't going offensive linemen. I do not believe it will be offensive linemen. I really would be shocked.
So they got a 3rd and a 5th.
A 3rd and a 5th. See, right there, we're doing
good
math.
for you.
Thank you.
I'm proud of you.
So the Browns move down 3 spots. Depending on who the Browns eventually pick, Browns are 1-0 thus far of trades these past 2 years of trading down and getting an absolute haul for Travis Hunter. My goodness, Travis Scott is on the board. Travis Hunter last year. So we'll see whether or not this was a worthy thing.
Probably a punter.
For the Chiefs, probably.
No, probably for the Browns.
Oh, yeah.
And that's the thing. They're getting all these picks, but they're really not. They're not. You got to turn them into talent eventually.
Well, Mason Graham was a great pick for the Browns last year. We'll see. Again, this is the highest we've seen the Chiefs pick in the Patrick Mahomes era. They're trading up. Roger Goodell is coming up in a snazzy suit,
with
ready with with the pronunciation in hand, Kansas City Chiefs.
the
With
sixth
Washington
overall
right
pick?
after them. Washington, I think, is another team that would just be absolutely.
Mansour
Whoa!
Delane.
Okay, so
Raven Kid's throwing up.
that is true. That I am shocked at this, because if there was a team that I could have told you is great at a position, you look at the Steelers at wide receiver. Historically, they find gems in late round draft picks. You look at the Cleveland Browns; they're great across the line. The Chiefs are synonymous with going in the secondary and finding absolute gems and pearls in late round draft picks. Look at Trent McDuffie that they just traded. They traded to the Titans 2 years ago, L'Jarius Sneed, and these are late round finds that they've had. The fact that they traded away Trent McDuffie and now have not only gone with their first pick but traded up to acquire the cornerback who comes out of LSU, Mansour Delane. It is confusing. I had it been an offensive lineman, I would have hated the pick. I'm not sure what to make of this, especially from the Chiefs, who, again, I feel like they're a cornerback factory at this point. I'm shocked. Luke, what do you feel?
Why? So you don't do this unless you don't think he's going to make it to you, right?
Right.
Like,
So they moved up from 9 to 6.
Yeah,
So that
so-
means that they jumped over not just Washington, they jumped over New Orleans and Cleveland, but obviously you don't trade if you don't think that they themselves are wanting to pick them.
so did they think this is what's confusing me here? Unless obviously we don't know. The Chiefs are the ones who got the trade in. We don't know what other conversations are happening. We don't know if somebody else was trying to also move in. We're not going to find out that information until after the fact here, if at all. But unless you were convinced that somebody was going to swoop in and pick him up, I think you could absolutely have just stood pat and drafted him probably at 9. I don't know. Like, we still have Caleb Downs. We still have Sonny Styles. We still have Ruben Bain.
Is absurd that he's still on the board. Ruben Baines, I do think that this is now actually the beginning of a smoke signal that he will fall, because there has been talk. The big story on the part of Ruben Baines has been his arm length. Of course, that when that came out during the combine, that seemed to be a big red flag amongst the scouting community across the NFL. I'm of course ready to be wrong, but Ruben Baines, if there was a perfect pairing, if there was a perfect placement on where to have him, it was certainly in Kansas City. And that seems to be something that now seems to be a fortified red flag, that if there's a perfect need there and a team was trading up and they weren't trading up for you, I wonder how far, if Ruben Baines, especially if we saw Arvell Reese fall to his level, I wonder how far Ruben Baines will be falling tonight by the time it's all said and done.
Are we? Clearly not, because they're still drafting them here. But are we like seeing this new wave of people who are tired of trying to get the best athlete? Because that's the only explanation I can think.
So what you're saying is, are we at a point where we have securely placed need above talent?
Not necessarily. I think we're at what I'm trying to say is, there was a very long period of time where people would be willing to pick up a guy who had the tape, but the measurables didn't put him in a specific area.
Well, okay. So Mansour Delane, are you saying that he doesn't quite fit the measurables, or are you still going on Ruben Baines?
I'm going on Ruben Bain and Arvell Reese.
Okay.
Arvell Reese, by all accounts, very talented player that everyone was expecting a lot of. But he, everyone was saying, like, is he going to be the off-ball linebacker? Is he going to be an edge? Is he like, they weren't sure where to put him. Roger Goodell is at the podium with the Commanders' 7th overall pick.
Raven Kid astutely pointing out the NFC East making out like bandits by just simply sitting at their picks.
I mean, it's
again
great strategy.
I hesitate to say it because you have already been bitten once by saying it with the Titans, but it's hard for the Commanders to mess this up at this point because so much talent has fallen to them. Whether or not, even if you believe that it's just Sonny Styles or Caleb Downs, the Commanders are a team that I think it's clear. Offense, I only want to see them go offensive line, which I think that they sorely need. But if they decide to go anywhere on defense, it's certainly going to be a ton of help towards their plight towards the Super Bowl this upcoming season.
They're taking extra long for this pick, so I'll quickly finish my thought here. But Ruben Bain also super small. Are we seeing people just yes, thank you. Are we seeing people just say, hey, I don't want the tweeners, I don't want the physical specimen? Sonny Styles going 7th overall pick to the Commanders. We'll absolutely steal. We'll hit on that here in a second. Just to put a point or end to my thought here. Are we seeing the time of day where like the Cardinals drafted a tweener 4 or 5 years ago that traded to the Giants because they couldn't ever figure out what they wanted to do. And I don't know if we're just kind of getting to the point where teams want the sure thing.
Isaiah Simmons.
Thank you.
Yes.
I was going to say the wrong Simmons. That was my problem.
I know.
So are we just finally getting to the point where teams are like, no, I don't want to deal with trying to figure out where to fit this guy or whether or not this is an important tangible or not?
I think for Ruben Baines specifically, the conference he plays in matters. He's playing against, alongside other defensive edge talent that's going to be drafted here in the first round. Like he keep in mind that there will be another first rounder on that edge with Miami in the form of what is his name?
Akeem.
Yes.
Messidor.
Thank you.
Yep.
So that certainly helps alleviate pressure at times. And when you look at the tape, once it's pointed out to you and you're looking at it from a perspective of a drafting position, there are a couple of sacks where you find he just barely made it. And you wonder in a game of inches, in a game of centimeters and how it is, if you're getting a sack by clawing with fingertips at somebody as opposed to wrapping around and making contact with them, that can certainly be something that makes a huge difference when we're talking about all this. Because look, Ruben Baines, it's hard because in a draft headlined by Fernando Mendoza and a pick that feels earned rather than projected, because that feels like Fernando Mendoza acquired that number 1 overall pick by just his plight and what he was able to produce on the field, as opposed, kind of like Joe Burrow, as opposed to what a Caleb Williams, what other projection Trevor Lawrence were able to do. But Ruben Baines, I think, unfortunately, at that position, I'm looking at a Myles Garrett. I need a physical freak whenever I'm going off at the top of the board. He certainly has the production to merit being the number 1 overall edge rusher, but I think the physicals are simply not there at a position of need that I need it. Because outside of Aaron Donald is a freak in part because of his small stature and being able to succeed in spite of that.
Absolutely. And time will tell. Somebody's going to eventually, like, I can't imagine Bane's going to fall out of the first round.
No.
Somebody will eventually just be like, I can't not pick him. And it is going to be, he's going to have a lot of spotlights on him. And I think it'll be an interesting story as that comes through. But getting on to Sonny Styles, just got drafted by the Commanders.
Look, we're looking at the other side of it, where Robert Saleh went offense. First time in a Titans regime, going offense. I would say that the thought process is I've got control of the defense. You guys, we need all the help we can get on offense, and that's not where I'm going to be focused on. I think the opposite is now here true. Dan Quinn, dare I say, on the hot seat. And Dan Quinn, I
don't think that's a hot take.
Yeah, I don't know. For some that is, because certainly the year prior could not have found a hotter candidate, a guy that felt like he had just remade the Dallas Cowboys defense. Look how they're underperforming and how underwhelming they are, and look at what the results are for these Washington Commanders. First year, new ownership, new head coach, yada 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 yada. Dan Quinn, I think, is starting to feel the heat and saying, you know what, if I'm going to go out, if I'm going to go down swinging, maybe it's certainly mixed with luck, right? Because Sonny Styles, I find it hard to believe that in a lot of projections they found that they were going to be getting him. I thought that they were going to have to try and sell to their fan base. Guys, Carnell Tate, at that point in time in the draft, all the defensive players have been taken, and we didn't want Ruben Baines, so we're going to have to go Carnell Tate. Not how this has gone down at all. So
no.
with a solid guy, you want to just make sure that the pick is not wasted. I feel like that's where Sonny Styles is. Do you agree, Ralph, that Sonny Styles was the right pick for the Washington Commanders when he just falls to them at pick number 7?
You have to take him, right? What? How can you not take him at that point? He's sitting there. He's going to fall to you. You take him. So no, good pick. I'm fine with that.
Raven
pick. I'm
Kid
fine
is
with that
doing the Lord's work
He
over
is.
here. He's teasing us publicly over here. So he's not only saying that Caleb Downs, he's saying Caleb Downs is Kyle Hamilton 2.0. Don't be afraid of talent. And I agree. His comp is not even Kyle Hamilton. He's having a Kyle Hamilton-like effect. And we can talk about him when he eventually gets picked. But his comp is Ed Reed. That's where people are comping him to. Raven Kid's also saying how this draft is going has me scared for the Ravens pick. It's going so out of the norm. I can understand with volatility and not understanding where everybody's minds are. It's hard to predict. There's been no trades, and that's almost been unpredictable on and of itself.
One trade.
Yes. Oh, yes, you're right. I'm sorry.
There's been one trade.
One slight swap.
And is this just a product of nobody has any faith in this draft, and so everybody's just like, yeah, whatever. Like everyone's draft board seemingly is so different from each other that everyone's like, I don't know what anyone's going to do. So let's just, this is part of why I thought there would be a lot of trades, is because I thought everyone would be so like worried and everybody would want to just do small swaps to like get small edges on people. Because there isn't that huge talent. So you're like, fine, I'll take what I can get early on and then not worry about day 2 or 3. Or vice versa. Hey, I don't really care about any of the top end talent because I'll just pick 4 or 5 people in day 2 and another 4 in day 3. So like, I'm just wondering if everyone's board is just so incredibly different that's why we're seeing what is seemingly very strange shake
evaluations.
Yeah.
I think thus far, the 2 biggest shockers of the draft, and I do say shockers, is Arvell Reese falling to where he fell. Even at 5, I still say that was a tremendous fall. And then without a doubt, the Kansas City Chiefs trading up, not only trading up, like that wasn't necessarily shocking in and of itself, but trading up to get a cornerback. That to me is just astounding. Raven Kid doing his best to function as the show's teaser. I almost wanted to say fluffer, but I didn't.
Then he said it anyways.
I swear I didn't say it. Saints made a good, not great pick. So utilizing the tease in and of itself, again, without spoiling it for ourselves, I feel as if that means that the Saints, who have a lot of needs, let's be honest, they have a lot of needs. The only thing that they don't have is they have all the shuck in the world to go and try and make sure that their quarterback is their franchise quarterback. That's about all that they have. I'd imagine that their pick here is the start of the offensive linemen that we will eventually have. I feel like that'll be the next run, is the offensive lineman, which would probably be Spencer Fano. I'd imagine it's going to be Spencer.
You think it'll be Spencer? You don't think it'll be Francis?
I do. I think it's going to be Fano. I think that he's more of solid. I think or maybe not solid. I think Fano out of Utah is somebody that I would pick over Francis. The pick is in.
Yep. With the 8th overall pick, the New Orleans Saints will be selecting. Oh, no. He's waiting for the booze to die down. That is the best tradition of the NFL draft, is just everyone booing Roger Goodell and him smiling at it. Jordan Tyson out of ASU.
ASU great. All right. So the Saints.
Now a former ASU great.
Yes. Well, yeah, absolutely. All right. So I think one thing that we could have and we should have done prior to the draft is guess how many wide receivers were going to go in the first round, because
I almost did too.
I know.
I was like, there shouldn't be that many.
I think once we get to, by my count, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 wide receivers that I think are going to be going, because here's the thing. In this new NFL, it used to be that it was quarterback above all else, because when the new formula is to get a quarterback on a rookie wage scale and be able to use the advantage you have financially and the advantage that you have to make the finances work to where you can build a talented team around an underpaid, promising quarterback. Look at Caleb Williams this year, like why they were able to spend. Look at anybody, Russell Wilson at the time. If we're going back to an older year. However, once that's done, I think we're in a new era where the wide receiver is the next position to where if you're going to reach in the first round for a positional need and get value just simply from the rookie wage scale that exists, I think it's the wide receivers, because we've seen time and time again.
He is breaking down crying.
Oh, we're at number 1, the first crier at 9. I'm telling you,
he's not even making it to the stage.
There we go. Oh,
we got some snot.
spittle.
We got some
spittle.
Oh, he is
fully on crying that he's going to Cleveland. I'm sorry to say Saints. Actually, much different. I would be crying.
The next guy will be crying.
Next guy will be crying too. Yeah.
The Browns pick's already in.
Yeah. Well, I think we went to commercial, so
that's true.
So I think that the clock never stops. Really.
Who are we saying the Browns are going to pick? I'm saying a tackle.
I have to imagine offensive
One has
line.
to imagine tackle, because not only were you able to move back and gain some value, but you were able to go back and you would still be the first team to pick up offensive line. You still have your choice at anybody to go there. Look, I think that whenever you hit upon a Jackson Smith and Jigba, whenever you hit upon a Jamar Chase, and you have them for a rookie for at least 6 years at your price point that you want, that is such a tremendous value to help build your team, and that the production that they can generate week in and week out, especially given that if you play them correctly, that they won't be injured too often, as opposed to a running back. That's always the risk that you get whenever you pick a running back that high, is that they might get injured week in and week out. This is where you'll find that the New Orleans Saints will stay exactly where they are and be happy picking up a wide receiver who is talented but has injury concerns.
Is this the end of Michael Thomas?
Michael Thomas is out already. I'm pretty sure that he's already a year out of the league. Am I incorrect?
Michael Thomas? Is he already out for? Who am I thinking of? Oh, I'm sorry. No, you're right. I'm thinking of Chris Olave.
I was wondering.
I don't know where my brain just went there.
I mean, Michael Thomas.
I was seeing the tears, and it just got to me, and I was not thinking at all. Chris Olave.
It scared me. Chris Olave. Look, I think that is an astute point here. Concussion insurance, if ever there was one. However, actually, that's a great point with Chris Olave and the propensity he has towards getting concussed and being out for injuries, concussions or otherwise. Is it smart, Ralph, to then pick up a injury-prone receiver who he has all the talent in the world. ASU loved him. He won them a lot of games single-handedly. But the big knock against him was that he was injury-prone.
I'm not a fan of his for a lot of reasons. Not because he went to ASU. I'm not a fan of his. I'm not big on him. I think he's drafted way too high here. Sorry, that's just me. I'm not a fan. I don't like this pick at all.
Because of the injury, or because you didn't watch ASU?
There's a lot of reasons. No, I watched ASU. I thought he was injury prone. I didn't like him personally. I felt I had issues with him. I wasn't a fan.
You hate loving the game.
No,
out of all the people to sit here and not like somebody,
there were things about him that I just didn't like. And Raven Kid's saying Chris Olave still very much has a job, though I don't know why he's still there. Which is a good point.
They haven't signed him to any sort of extension. They haven't franchised him. I'm looking, unless this website's not up to date, but it normally is. He's on his. They took his 5th-year option. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, this is his 5th-year option. They still haven't given him anything else. So, I mean, if they don't come up with something soon, and again, Chris Olave has also had plenty of health issues. Yeah. So, I'm very curious as to. And you needed so much help in so many positions. I just don't. I like Jordan Tyson. I think he might be one of the best wide receivers coming out of this league.
I think he's very talented.
Spencer Fano getting drafted 9th overall to the Browns, which is
that what happened?
That is what happened.
I told you. Fano's going to be the first lineman
coming out of Utah. He is at home in Spanish Fork, Utah, with a lot of people.
That's a lot. Oh my goodness, that's a full house.
Yeah. That is the NIL
and
money.
The Giants again immediately have the pick in.
I mean, this is Caleb Downs is still on the board.
This is about the place that I think that you could you could have seen him. Where if teams didn't have where like the Giants, you've already picked up for need. You now can go out and get your Kyle Hamilton, your somebody that is for just pure talent point. And being able to pick him up at pick 10 is just a steal. Just an absolute steal.
It's
I mean, you hear Nick Saban talk about this guy. And Nick Saban, he finds it so rare to go around and be able to compliment anybody. But he's going around and he's even saying that that Caleb Downs is a stellar talent, worthy of a high draft pick. But Spencer Fano out of Utah. Oh wow, he's got some wiggle on him.
He's got a little bit of wiggle.
Yeah, my goodness. Going and being sent down to football hell in Cleveland.
Wow.
You feel for the guy.
You do feel for him. To me, there's not a ton to say on him. He is, and I mean that positively. He was widely considered to be one of, if not the best tackles. I think he's going to Cleveland. Hopefully he can get out before the end of his career. And then the Giants also addressing their offensive line, immediately drafting the next tackle, who most did consider to be the best tackle, Francis Maugoa. I definitely butchered that 3 different times.
I think you did, but I didn't say it because I didn't feel confident in correcting you and proudly pronouncing it correctly. So you got away with it.
That's all I can
Wow.
ever. That's all I can ever ask for here.
Wow.
So I mean, I think we're kind of starting to see us get back on track a little bit here.
Miami Dolphins, if there's a team that desperately wants to trade back, like this is where if the Miami Dolphins do not trade back here, Luke, you're over on the trades for the night is going down in flames, because the Miami Dolphins, sure, did they just make the biggest free agents quarterback splash of the offseason? Yes. Does that make a lick of difference? No, because this team is bad. This team is, oh, there we go.
We have another trade.
Trades the pick to Dallas. How far did Dallas move up? I forgot.
They were 12.
Okay, so that's not too bad.
Oh, they're still at 12.
Oh,
They must have traded their other pick.
Wow. I wonder how. I mean,
That makes
I'm working on it for you.
yes.
that does not make a ton of sense here.
All right.
I
so
wonder if they
Dallas-
just haven't updated
I
the
know.
other ticker
Currently,
yet.
Dallas has back-to-back picks. We don't know, but I mean the Miami Dolphins, and the pick is in for the.
No,
for
they
the-
don't have back to back. They switched 11-12.
Okay.
So they just haven't.
They just
updated.
haven't updated the ticker here yet.
Okay, which would make sense. I feel like it's going to be even. You know what? Again, if the Dolphins could move back every single pick and just keep on picking third rounders, by God, do they need it? Yes, exactly. The ticker has been updated. So Dallas has moved up 1 pick, which feels comfortable for the Cowboys. Moving up 1 pick, probably worried that the Dolphins would be wooed by the Rams, which would lead me to believe. Lead me to believe that the Cowboys. I don't know. Where do you think that they go here? I don't think that.
Apparently, it's a great pick according to our resident tease.
I mean, okay, a resident tease, Raven Kid, saying that it's a great pick, which makes me believe that it's going to be Caleb Downs. However, you can certainly.
That's who it should be.
That's who it should be. You have to believe that the Cowboys would not go wide receiver because they just signed today George Pickens to his franchise tender. Next big contract of the league. All right, so the Cowboys pick is in. We're going to be going around that. Giants now feels like they're done for the night, right? Because they're not a team that like the Cardinals, where we are possibly projecting them to trade back in to the end of the round and possibly pick up a quarterback. Giants feel like they're done. They pick up both sides of the ball, both sides of the defensive, both sides of the line. I mean, that's a hardball draft for you right there, where they're going meat and potatoes. They're going on both sides of the ball, getting the number 1 prospect at both sides of the line.
I think it's I have to say, I think right now they are the early winners of the draft. I know we're not even halfway through, but yeah, they took a great anchor piece on both sides that they desperately needed, especially on the offensive line. Hopefully he can Looks like the Dolphins got 177 and 180. So that's like a fifth and sixth rounder, something fourth and fifth.
Yeah,
Something like that.
Just a little sweetener, just to move up one spot.
Yeah, I mean you're basically getting free picks here. If you're Miami. So good for them. But I mean, Harbaugh doing what Harbaugh needed to do. Just kind of getting good talent in key positions, even if those positions aren't necessarily the ones that make the best headlines. At least at the offensive line, I should say. But I mean, I think it's a solid pick, and now you can enjoy the rest of your night. It's already 9:10 back in New York. You're done.
Yeah.
Leave the war room. Turn off the cameras. Go get a drink. Go start your draft party early. You don't need to be there anymore. You're done.
It's the rare time that the Giants, having done nothing really spectacular, just standing pat. Really, their big move was last week, where they traded Dexter Lawrence, a malcontent, talented, no doubt, talented defensive tackle, but just straight up for the number 10 overall pick to get what's many consider to be the number 1 overall tackle in the draft. It's tremendous. It's tremendous that they were able to do so in this draft. And while the Tennessee Titans on the other side just go completely off the board by picking wide receiver. And it's one of those where it's a splash play. You wonder whether or not that they will be rewarded for it. And the Giants trying to make sure that Jackson Dart stays out of that blue tent. My goodness.
I mean, I think there were some games he was going in there
He was
3 times a game.
He was begging for it.
See Raven Kid saying, great move by the Dolphins getting more ammo later on when them needing a lot.
Well, of course, they're $50 million. What are they? A fourth out of their entire cap this year is just gone due to Tua. A fourth of their cap. They need young, cheap talent. Even if they're not great, they just need young, cheap talent to fill out the roster. So of course they'll take any and all to just fill out the roster on minimum contracts. Absolutely.
Could the Cowboys be taking Bain here or nah?
They could.
I mean, Bain's fallen a little bit.
Bain is falling.
I thought he was top 10.
We were talking about this earlier, where I thought that the biggest indication that Bain would have a long night was not just that Reese was falling. That was indicator number 1.
Right.
But also that not only did the Chiefs trade up, but they traded up and they did not pick you, where there was a tremendous need out of that position for a player that production-wise certainly earned his way to being the number 1 edge rusher. And they thumbed their nose at him and said, no, thank you. Now, it's possible that, I suppose, depending on where he begins to fall, that the Chiefs can make out like bandits and trade back in, I suppose. That sounds absurd at this point in time, but we'll have to see how far he falls. But I completely agree with you, Ralph. He's somebody who I the moment that the Chiefs passed on him, thought he's going to have a long night. I wonder, especially for somebody that at a certain point was projected to be like the number 3 overall pick at certain points during this offseason. I wonder if he's not picked up, I don't know, around the 20s.
I mean, Raven Kid's like absolute playmaker.
All right. So yes, the Dolphins receive the
2 5th rounders.
2 5th rounders. Oh, yeah, a 5th rounder this year and a 5th rounder next year, as well as the pick right after.
Not bad for moving down 1 spot.
I mean, yeah. Again,
they're getting who they want, obviously.
Assuming that this is just going to be the safety, then you have to assume. You just have to assume that one player is not going to make your defense better. Yeah, Caleb Downs. For the Cowboys,
yeah,
can fix that defense as a whole. I feel that confident.
That's 2 5th rounders this year, by the way. Not
this
on the
year.
ticker it said 25 and 26.
Oh, on the from Adam Schefter. Well,
oh yeah, 25 would be
25 doesn't
so
make
they were
any
just
sense.
wrong. Anyways, okay, yes. So I'd imagine that it is this year.
So yeah, I mean, great play. You moved up. If you're the Cowboys, you needed that top end talent. You traded away a few 5th rounders, and you came away with the best safety in the entire draft.
Caleb Downs.
I don't know if you really needed to give those picks up, but at the end of the day, you got your guy, and this guy is a playmaker who will help that defense that sorely needs it. And I think this is a great path forward for them. This is something that they needed to work on, and they were able to pick exactly what they were able to identify who they wanted to go after, and they grabbed them. Now, the real question is, are they going to keep, because they also have pick 20 from the Parsons trade. So are they going to keep that and continue to kind of build talent? Because that was one of the spots right around where people were saying the Cardinals might start to look at trading back in for Ty Simpson.
You know what? One other point. This is the 4th Ohio State Buckeye taken already.
They're killing it.
That's pretty impressive to have 4 Ohio State Buckeyes off the board already.
And there will probably be more
in the first 11 picks. Wow. That's impressive. Now, the Dolphins coming up, Ruben Baines?
I guess.
No. Who do you think they go? Where do you think they're going to go? I mean, why not? Local guy?
I feel like the Dolphins, local guy. You know what? Actually, now that you say that,
it's true though. Right?
No. That's so true. And again, normally I have a friend over here who says offense sells, but you know what sells even more than offense? Hometown hero. So that is possible. And you've already acquired more talent. If they haven't traded back again, which it looks like they haven't because they've got their pick.
I mean, this is a Miami guy. Hometown is Miami. Went to Miami.
I'm sure that
he's a monster with short arms.
Chris Monteballe over there is touting his guy.
That's his only weakness, in my opinion. His arms are kind of short.
But no, yeah.
I mean, it's an issue. Can be an issue. Really good with his hands, really strong guy. I mean, he got a motor. Their comp that I had on here was Trey Hendrickson. I mean, he's that kind of a guy.
I think if you're the Dolphins, I think you kind of got to go the way the Giants did. I think that no matter where you go, you're going either offensive line or defensive line. You're either going Ruben Baines or you're going offensive line, because you need to be able to, when you suck this year, you need to come out of it better than you were this past year. And I think if you get an offensive lineman who by this point in time would be more project with a lot of upside than not, that you can have him go a full season ready and able to be a stalwart for you for whoever the franchise quarterback is that you'll be drafting next year at the top of the draft, and be able to have a landing spot. I'm serious. So I would say that if they're being responsible, I want to see an offensive lineman here. I want to see an offensive lineman. Ruben Baines, you can make a case for it because they just have holes all around that roster.
That's who I take.
I understand.
Local kid, projected to be a stud in the NFL. I mean, a position that you could definitely use to help you on your defensive side of the ball. Why not? He's going to sell tickets.
I will say,
I don't think you miss with that pick.
Yeah, I will say, as far as Caleb Downs over here going to Dallas, I hate to say it, but I really like that pick. Why
do you hate to say it?
It's the Cowboys.
Well, I mean, they got to do things right sometimes.
Every so often.
Listen, even what is it? Even a broken clock's right twice a day.
A dead squirrel finds a nut every once in a while.
Okay, I think it's blind squirrel, but I guess.
Did you say dead squirrel?
I guess that worked. Oh, the 12th overall pick from the Miami Dolphins is in. Roger Goodell is slowly reading it, and they've selected Caden Proctor, offensive tackle out of Alabama.
That's a safe pick.
That is a safe pick.
And that's what they need. They needed safe picks. If Tua hadn't gotten concussed every year, he'd probably still be there.
Maybe.
Probably.
Yeah.
Mike McDaniels would definitely still be there if they had a good offensive line. I feel fairly confident in saying that.
Maybe. It depends on how. It's so hard to judge. I mean, that's a topic all itself of Tua, whether or not you. It's so hard to judge because I'm not a cognitive doctor and wondering how much. No, I'm serious. It's an uncomfortable conversation, but how much the concussions mess with his for a player whose A++ quality was reading defenses and being able to predict and run an offense. how much did concussions mess with that versus just perhaps getting destroyed as a smaller frame guy inevitably caught up with him? I don't know where that balance is.
Adding this guy 6'7", 352. I mean, this is a monster.
Yeah,
Alabama
doesn't do small.
Dude.
Yeah, he's a big guy. Miami, like I said,
massive.
It felt like the smart pick. It felt like the safe pick. They can be one and the same. It's all right to just get meat and potatoes because very rarely do you find star quality offensive linemen available in free agency. Not like they have the ability to spend anyways. And look, you did make a big splash in this offseason with your quarterback acquisition in Malik Willis. And if I'm him, will a wide receiver help? Yes, but not if that offensive line remains to be as bad as it was. And regardless of not whether you're trying to make an honest to goodness run with Malik Willis or you're trying to set up a better space, there's cry number two. Cry number two. That's definitely cry number two. That is. Yeah.
I think we might even be past two, but it's at least
big necklace right there too.
And if you're whether or not you're setting the stage for the franchise quarterback that is already there or the one that is set to be there next season with whoever you draft next season with a loaded quarterback class next draft. Either way, it's a smart pick. It's a one and the same. And also it's a position that you'd hope wouldn't get injured nearly as often as if you were to have gone running back or defense.
It's a good pick. Good pick. Monster guy. He's a big dude that can move. I like it. Good for them. Let's move on. Let's talk Rams.
The Rams are in such an interesting spot.
Yeah,
they don't get these first round picks often.
Nope.
They don't get. This is thank you to the Falcons for this beautiful pick here in the middle of the first round. I think that what makes it so interesting is the Rams can basically just do whatever they want. Like most teams, whether they actually follow it or not, most teams at least will verbally say, "Oh no, we're going to take the best player available," and then
who is Ruben Baines right now?
I don't know about that.
Ask our draft board. He's the best player available, but that's not who they're going to take.
Well,
it's not who they're going to take.
No.
Why not? Their offense.
I'll tell you why not.
Their defense wasn't that great last year.
They are going to take a local guy. They are going to take
Makai Lemon.
They are going to take. Give me your money. They are going to take Makai Lemon with this pick because he's a great fit for them. Puka may be on the out. Who knows? That guy may be nuts.
Yeah. I mean,
Makai Lemon, skill set wise, to me, I know you're not going to agree with me. This is a better receiver than Jordan Tyson.
They have the camera on Ty Simpson. Now,
not going to happen.
What I was about to say was I would have thought that the Rams were in quote unquote danger of drafting Ty Simpson if they were to have traded back. They haven't traded back. They're staying put here at pick 13. Again, courtesy of the Atlanta Falcons. Great point by you, Luke. Look, they only have one left because their own pick they traded for Trent McDuffie. And so they shored up amongst their biggest weaknesses. I think that you can go a couple different ways. I think that you can either go Jermon McCoy out of Tennessee or the other cornerback, Colton Hood, if you really kind of want to take a gander at it. Because while, yes, you traded for Trent McDuffie, one cornerback is not the end-all solution, especially now with a lot of teams, especially the upper-tier teams, having two options at wide receiver.
We're getting teased. Wow, big move by the Rams here. Ty Simpson, 13th overall.
Again, you're not. You have to honor the system, Luke. You can't.
I'm not looking anything up.
You're honoring the tease. And look, Raven Kid is here now. He's taking away options for us. He said, Raven Kid says that he had Hood, the cornerback, Colton Hood out of Tennessee, or McCoy here, both cornerbacks out of Tennessee. So he's giving us crumbs, saying that it's not a cornerback. As I was just laying out.
It's not going to be Tyson. That would be
he's not eliminating Ty Simpson.
That would be a bad move. Come on, this is going to be Makai Lemon. This just fits. It just fits.
Does it?
It does.
Spending his rookie year as the third
I like how,
wide receiver.
I like how Dominic says, wow, big move by the Rams. No, that wasn't him. What did he?
No, that's Raven Kid. Wow, big move by the Rams. It's all Raven Kid. Raven Kid is with us to the end here.
Your brother has abandoned us.
Yes.
No, he's here.
He said next season Super Bowls champs are up considering the Rams.
That's what he's talking. He's a huge Ram guy.
Yes.
And I agree with the Laramie Tunzel example that he was talking about
yeah.
for the last pick.
So while we're here and while we're taking a moment, because obviously we're being teased to
High heaven.
to high heaven here, and while we're waiting for the Rams and we're watching a commercial of Minions and Monsters. Oh goodness me. Let's take a moment to just kind of go through our highlights of the draft thus far. So we start off with Fernando Mendoza, the obvious pick.
Yeah.
Is that a highlight?
No, it's expected to happen.
David Bailey, something I projected, something I like out of New York. It feels like New York with a defensive head coach. We're going to sense a theme here where defensive head coaches are going to go out swinging by picking defensive talent that falls to them. Jeremiah Love, I'd say, was probably the big first shocker of the trade, even though Ralph called it. He called it out of saying that you can predict frutility. That you can. That
Cardinals are easy to predict.
Yeah, Cardinals are easy to predict that they'll go for headlines as opposed to anything else. So Jeremiah Love, big one. The next shocker, where Luke would probably say the first shocker was Carnell Tate, number 4, going to the Tennessee Titans out of Ohio State, first wide receiver off the board, going to go help Cam Ward and the new stadium be built altogether.
Terrible.
Arvell Reese falls, only to pick 5, but falls nonetheless, all the way down to pick 5 to the New York Giants, excuse me. Kansas City Chiefs trade up to pick another shocker, Mansour Delane out of LSU, cornerback.
It's a good pick, though.
Number 6.
It's a good pick.
It addresses a need.
Yeah,
I'm just shocked that they're the
You
ones
just
who made
didn't
it.
need to do it. That's why I don't think it's a good pick.
If there's a team
We're now at 13 and no other cornerback's been taken.
Yeah.
You did not need to move up. Oh, they're showing Ty Simpson again.
I told you guys, they keep showing Ty
There's
Simpson.
no way.
Ralph is ready to eviscerate the Rams. Drop him
I
like
hope
a
they
bad
draft
habit.
him because Ty Simpson is not a first-round draft pick.
We'll get to Ty Simpson when he gets drafted here, but they keep going to him
In about 20 seconds?
in about 20 seconds. Keeping on going down, Washington Commanders are a team that many thought are walking away with this draft quite pleased with
He's
themselves.
approaching the podium.
Having Sonny Styles, a linebacker, Jordan Tyson.
Dun, dun, dun.
Oh, wow. It was ruined for me. That is crazy.
Oh my gosh.
It was ruined for you?
Oh my gosh.
I
It was
haven't
ruined
seen
for
it
me.
yet.
It was ruined for me
I
too.
haven't seen it yet.
And
With
Luke
the
Wright,
13th pick. Oh, what a terrible decision.
This is a terrible pick.
Okay, so Raven Kid said, wow, big move by the Rams here, being the precursor to Ty Simpson out of Alabama being drafted number 13 overall
Terrible pick.
to the Los Angeles Rams, going to Sean McVay, the first draft pick that for a quarterback Sean McVay has made in the Sean McVay era.
I will say this.
Say it.
I'll say it. I think that this is where he needs to go. I think this is a great pick for him.
Yeah.
For Ty, I think that this is a great pick.
For him, it's a great pick.
Yes. This is exactly the biggest knock on him was that he was too inexperienced and that he hadn't been able to play in a lot of games. He's now going to sit behind one of the best veterans you can sit behind. He's going to be coached by one of the best offensive minds in the entire NFL of arguably the last probably 20 years. I'd say he's up there, if not longer. And there's no stress. There's none.
You want to talk about a quarterback that's not going to be playing this year? It's not Fernando Mendoza. Ty Simpson will not play this year.
Hopefully he won't. Stafford might get hurt, but because he is old and got a bad back. But and according to Schefter, Rams did inform Matthew Stafford today that they were planning to select Ty Simpson.
Today, interesting.
I think that. Do I think that it's a reach? Yes, I absolutely do. On the other hand, the Rams have been the poster child of a team that does not need first round picks to be good. That has been their brand. So if Sean McVay looked at him and said, "This guy's my next Matthew Stafford," and he truly believed that, and you don't really think they don't have, there are holes on that team, but Trent McDuffie addressed one of the biggest ones, and you don't have anything else that was like desperately needed that you could draft here. I think the pick's fine. I think when you add in all of I do not think Ty Simpson has the value at 13, but I think with the Rams situation and just who they are and the support system around them, go up, get your guy. You know he's going to be able to sit for at least a year, if not 2. I'm fine with the pick.
Okay.
This is a terrible.
Raven Kid says, I had this exact pick with their later pick, talking about the Rams. Smart to get your guy post Stafford. Ralph, you love this pick?
It's a terrible pick. This is Jay Cutler 2.0. This is the media hyping a guy that has no business getting drafted in the first round. He's an absolute developmental quarterback. He's a project. He is not worthy of a first round pick, yet a mid first round pick, a 13 pick. This is absolute insanity. This makes no sense. This is a move the Cardinals make. This is not a move the Rams make. It's a move that a bad organization makes to try to reach. I can't even believe this happened. I'm fine with it as a Seahawk fan because I think it's a very bad move for their future. Really bad move. So terrible pick. I don't care who McVay. I don't care who's there.
Ty
Terrible
Simpson
pick.
is an undersized prospect. Ty Simpson
6'1".
could not beat out Bryce Young, could not beat out Jalen Milroe. Ty Simpson couldn't take Alabama to a national championship with talent all around him this year. I do not believe in Ty Simpson. I do not think he's a franchise quarterback. However,
Stop.
if there's one coach that could
No.
sway my thought process, it's
In
Sean
McVay, we trust.
No.
Yes, your brother says in McVay we trust. Montana was considered a reach. Look,
No.
I was with you 100% here, Ralph. 100%. Had he gone to the Cardinals, I would agree with you. Had he gone to the Browns, had he gone to the Packers, Ralph, with Matt LaFleur, I would have said, you're right. Even a quarterback's guru can't do it. But you know the one quarterback coach that I have faith in, the one quarterback coach
is not him.
It's Sean McVay,
No,
man.
it's not.
If Sean McVay says, I trust in this kid, says that he is worth this pick, he is worth the future, I hesitate. And that means that I will take a step back and look back at my evaluation and say, is there something wrong with my evaluation? There's not many coaches that can do that. And dare I say, there's only one. And that one is him.
No. This is a terrible pick. Have you watched him play?
I've watched him play.
He's terrible.
I was not impressed. No, I agree.
His deep ball is terrible.
I agree.
His accuracy short term, terrible.
He's unimpressive with a very impressive cast all around him.
I mean, this is a 3rd to 5th round guy. They picked him at 13.
You know what I think
Wow.
that Sean McVay loves about him is that he processes fast. The problem is that he doesn't have all the tools
He
to
doesn't
do so.
execute fast.
He doesn't execute fast.
By the way, we do have another pick.
Yes, we do. The Ravens select, go inner offensive line. Go with, oh my goodness, Ioane is how I'm going to say. The guard out of
Vega Ioane.
It's a good pick.
Ioane. Yes. Yeah, Ravens.
Raven Kid,
pick.
this is a good pick.
Yes. So instead of getting
And he's happy. So happy.
yeah, absolutely. Instead of getting
So happy.
Max, they're getting offensive lineman.
Good pick. See, that's a good pick. Rams, bad pick. Ravens, good pick.
The one, man, I normally would hate that pick. It's the Sean McVay of it all that's really throwing me off.
No.
Because here's the other thing. Are you telling me that the Rams could not have traded back and still found Ty Simpson? Even at 18. Yeah, I mean, who's trading up? Who wanted Ty Simpson that they had to stay at their spot? Even if all you were to get was another 7th rounder from the Ravens to move up 1, the Buccaneers to move up 2, the Lions to move up 4. Like wherever you go, who else would have possibly taken him? Maybe the Vikings. Maybe
Taking who? Simpson?
Yeah. So
The Cardinals would have taken him.
they would have, but they would have had to trade it up, and
They were going to.
And
I really think that was their plan.
probably.
This is just shock. No one saw this coming. Come on. This is going to be talked about.
Is this the biggest move of
Absolutely. Not only is the biggest move, it's the biggest, stupidest move. This is a terrible move. I'm telling you.
Yeah, Luke, you're with me, aren't you?
The dumber-
You're saying
I said it first. With all of the context around, I think it's fine.
The only thing
Oh.
dumber than this would have been drafting Shador in the first round. That would have been comparable to how stupid this was.
well, given the value proposition.
Yeah, no, there's no value. This is a terrible pick. Now, if we go to the Ravens pick, I love this pick. And Raven Kid is just ecstatic. He's so happy. He's going to protect Lamar, which is exactly what they needed. He was going to be upset if they pick Sadiq, which I kept seeing. So, no, you didn't. You kept seeing it, but it didn't happen. This is a great pick for you, Raven Kid. This is a great pick for the Ravens. Unlike the Rams, which did a terrible pick, this is a great pick.
It's a fine pick.
And
we're not gonna. Oh yeah, no. The Ravens picks is good.
Really good.
This is what they needed.
Yep. This is a need with a good player.
This is gonna fit in. He's gonna fit into their scheme so well. I think. You're going to see
6'4", 320.
Big
dude.
boy. He's a big dude.
Big guard, man.
He's powerful run blocker, strong hands, consistent pass protection. He's going to kind of do exactly what you need him to do, and he's going to be able to step in basically immediately.
Yep.
Now, I'm curious. The Buccaneers are on the clock.
Their pick is in. They're not trading.
Their pick is in. They are not trading. The Bucs have a tendency. We saw the same thing when they drafted Emeka last year. They are very strong. They're one of the few teams that will fully commit to whoever we think is the best available is who we are going to pick. Do we see another pick in a deep position for them? Do they have a deep position pool that can't be improved? I guess is another way to also phrase that.
Wide receiver.
I mean, they picked Emeka last year. Chris Godwin's going to be healthy this year, knock on wood.
Yeah.
A lot of their young guys also did play well in their limited time. Ted Johnson had some really good games.
The one that is confounding that I don't think will play into effect this first round, but certainly in later rounds will be something, at least for the Buccaneers specifically, is their running back room. The Bucky Irving of it all kind of confused me because he had like a phantom injury that kind of clouded his season all last year, being a fantasy manager. It's something that was
on my team.
On your team. I quite enjoyed that. But having that play a position, it makes you wonder if they'll be in the stakes, in the running, I should say, for a running back this year.
I don't think there's maybe at some point. I just don't know if the running back class this year is really that good. I know Ralph is really overhyping the backup to Notre Dame, but
I like him.
But outside, like I think even regardless of how you feel on him, I don't know if there's that many more running backs that are worth a draft pick after him.
For heading into a draft, so underwhelming to me. There really have been some surprises.
Yeah, this one,
especially with the Ty Simpson of it all. That will be looming
Terrible
large.
pick.
I wonder how, if I'm Matthew Stafford, I'm not necessarily surprised that you're picking Ty Simpson. I think it's the where of it all that I would be insulted. Where you got Trent McDuffie. It helps me overall in a team sense because that's what killed you in the NFC Championship game, right? Is that they couldn't stop Sam Darnold from passing the ball. But you were hoping, I think, if you are Matthew Stafford, that you're able to address maybe, like you said, another wide receiver. Maybe
where's this wide receiver getting plays?
Again,
you're going to use a 13th overall pick for your
even exited rehab since he entered himself in.
I don't know.
He's a wild card. You don't know what's going to happen.
I would like to take away any leverage he has over my positional group, let alone my team. And so drafting another wide receiver certainly alleviates that.
I think using the 13th pick to possibly gain advantage on a guy that was in line for the biggest contract of a wide receiver might be overreacting. Especially because I do think that there are even other holes that they could have addressed better with that pick.
So the initial point of drafting a quarterback 13 overall, when you already have Matthew Stafford, if you're in the position of Matthew Stafford, you agree that this could be interpreted as insulting when you could have possibly gotten Ty Simpson later and been able to serve both purposes.
You got Ruben Bain.
Ruben
Jr.
Bain.
So there you go. They went with a Florida guy.
Yeah.
He was a Miami guy, but this is a good pick.
Close enough.
He fell to Tampa. I like this pick.
You've loved Ruben Bain since the beginning of this.
I do. I like Ruben Bain.
I must admit, I'm a little. Look at that room. That is a somber room. Ruben Bain is upset by how far he's fallen.
Oh, he's got
that chip on his shoulder now.
Yeah, the rest of the family members you assume that's around him, the rest of the viewing party.
He's struggling to to hug people. His arms are too short.
Oh my
Can't get it all the way around.
That's fantastic.
Okay,
Wow.
that's so unnecessary.
Wow, that was
For
good, though.
anyone watching, ESPN for the fun fact put 37.8-inch arms, 37th and a 7/8 of an inch arms, shortest by first round edge rusher since 2003. There was you did not need to put that there. You did not
They
need
just drove by
to
him.
throw him under the
It
bus.
is the biggest issue with him that's all they focused on.
And I think if that's the biggest issue, I
I'm
think
okay
you're
with that.
fine.
Yeah, I'm okay with that.
I think that this is going to be a good pick. To answer Phil's question before this pick in, if I'm Matthew Stafford, I'm not feeling offended. Again, his entire time there, they've never really used first round picks ever. So I think that he understands it's a business and that they knew that they wanted to get their guy for the future after him. So I don't think it's that big of a deal for that.
According to Ralph, he should be pissed because not only did they spend it on a quarterback, but they spent it on a no good, worthless quarterback who, even if I get injured, is now guaranteed to have us lose games.
Which I think is Ralph does this, right? Like he takes a guy who's going to be perfectly fine, perfectly okay, has some potential, and then just buries them. Just buries them.
Can't give away that
Um,
playbook.
But the Buccaneers, I think this is a good pick. They really needed help on defense.
He wrapped up. They're showing a highlight package, and he just completely wrapped a quarterback for a sack.
Helping out in run defense. Like I think this is what they needed, somebody who can rush the passer, which is something that Ruben Bain can do. He just showed it again against Ohio State. I think that this is a good pick. They desperately needed help on defense. Their sole defensive strategy was, let's hope Vita Vea can carry everybody. And Vita is not in a position to where he can do that consistently on defense. So getting somebody to help, especially in that division where you are going up against not one, not two, but three young, inexperienced quarterbacks, I think that it's a good pick for them. And I think that I personally think I have Bailey is my defensive rookie of the year, but for me, it was between Bailey and Bain. I thought it was going to be one. I thought it was going to be one of the two. And I really think that he's going to have that chip on his shoulder going into
He's going
this
to
year.
be in a good position to accomplish it. Certainly, like you said, with Vita Vea also on the line. Whenever you're looking at these, you're looking for somebody to not be a one-man wrecking show. While yes, Myles Garrett is impressive all his own. He's a one of one. Usually you'd like to join, like if you're Abdul Carter last year, that was a perfect situation for you to highlight yourself, and he underwhelmed in many aspects. But he was put in a good position to highlight and produce simply because you could not isolate him. You could not stuff him specifically down and quell his production to where he couldn't perform to be a defensive player of the year. Ruben Bain going to the Buccaneers, you're going to be upon a blitz heavy scheme with Todd Bowles. You are going to be put in positions to where you will be pressuring either quarterbacks or running backs alike, because we are going full out blitz with Todd Bowles and all production. No risk it, no biscuit, but on defense for Todd Bowles. So I think now, given where the placement is, I could find value there. Ooh, Luke Wright value pick.
Right there.
I could see value there, because as opposed to where David Bailey went with the New York Jets, you can isolate David Bailey. You
The
can't
pick is in.
necessarily isolate Ruben Baines. All right, so the Jets are here. I would imagine this is an offensive line pick. Yes.
Well, somebody's got to protect Geno.
Nope. Kenyon Sadiq, tight end out of Oregon.
God,
Best available.
I hate that.
I really.
Are you a fan of Sadiq? Sadiq never. He felt like just the obvious underperformer of this group, and I could certainly go in and eat my words here.
I think that
First tight end off the board out of Oregon.
I think you're drafting a wide receiver at the tight end position. He's 6'3", 240, runs a 4.39. You're not ever really going to ask him to sit there and be a tight end that can do it all. You're going to ask him to just create mismatches against linebackers and cornerbacks. He's going to be what Travis Kelce was before Travis Kelce really started to block or learn how to block. So I think that It's fine. I don't.
By the way, the only tight end who you would have even considered drafting in the first round.
Yes, I don't think he was worth the first round pick, especially if I'm the Jets and I just need so much. I think I'm picking pretty much anybody else ahead of him.
Woo. Man, I will say though, he's got a nice highlight package.
I mean, yeah, but
wow.
It's easy.
I like his package. His highlight package.
It's easy to get those highlights when
that guy
you're
knows how to Oregon duck.
a wide receiver playing tight end and just blowing past linebackers.
Look, he can be an effective lead blocker. I'm not sure how well he holds up on a professional level in a pass blocking scheme. He's certainly not a Kittle, but Kittle is something of a rarity. That's part of what brings he's able to produce in the receiving as well as block.
He's considered Kittle light. He's a mismatch at tight end.
He's a mismatch of tight end physically and receiving. Yes.
That's 4.4 speed.
Yeah.
I mean, out of tight end. I mean, so.
Yeah, and he's got the frame, the physical frame that certainly is imposing. One would have hoped that he would have developed a little more as a pass blocker out of the tight end position.
Because think about him versus linebackers, right? I mean, that's where he's going to be valuable. Yeah. So, I mean, I think this is I like this pick.
And again, it's not offensive line to where I think that you look at that AFC East, it's a similar situation with the Miami Dolphins where you're almost assuredly, it would be shocking if we saw the Jets contending for a playoff spot, let alone the division title. But if they were contending for a playoff spot, that would be surprising. More so, you're laying the groundwork and the bedrock for the incoming franchise quarterback, giving them options to have. And certainly, while again, it's not the offensive line, a good tight end is as good an option to have as an outlet option for your quarterback as any.
So Dominic's online says Ralph might eat his words when Ty wins the Super Bowl in 2031. I mean, I don't see that happening. Raven Kid.
You think it's going to be earlier?
No, it'll never happen. I'm kidding. The Raven Kid switched over to YouTube. He said Bucks made a very good pick, and the Jets are going to Jets. The Jets are going to Jets.
Yeah,
he's very much a receiving tight end. Talking about Mr. Duck. He's only 240. You want about 250 plus to be a proficient blocker. Okay, so. Good point. I mean, he's a receiving tight end. I think at 240, it could probably block still anyway. But
yeah, but even if he's just a body in front of somebody.
Yeah, big body.
Yeah. You know what's funny though is that Ty Simpson more than likely will be the first quarterback, more than likely to win a Super Bowl than any other quarterback out of this draft.
Terrible pick,
mostly because of Matthew Stafford winning on his behalf. But
we don't know. We don't know. There might be some sort of sneaky pick in like the 5th or 6th round that might technically end up winning.
Right, like somebody gets drafted to the Eagles.
I mean, if I would have told you 5 years ago that Sam Darnold was going to be the first in his class to win a Super Bowl, you'd been like, yeah, right.
I would have believed it, but I would have believed it as like he was a backup.
A backup.
I would have believed he was a backup for the Niners when the Niners if the Niners could get past
he almost did.
Which he almost did.
He almost did.
I would not have if you told me that he led the Seahawks and won a Super Bowl as a starter.
Crazy.
I would have been like, no, thank you. I will not take that back.
So now we got the Lions on the clock.
The Lions, I would feel betrayed as a person who understands the Lions intimately. Don't question it. I would feel betrayed if they do not go offensive line. They've been picked apart on that side of the ball. They're already considering switching their dancing bear of right tackle over to left tackle. They, of course, have had their center retire, almost come back mid-season last year, and then was unable to do so physically.
What's really, I mean, look at our draft board here. I mean, what do we have really available right now at this point in the draft?
We have Monroe Freeling.
Monroe Freeling go this high?
Look, the Lions are not afraid to look foolish on draft night. You look at Jahmyr Gibbs, it was roundly criticized at the time.
He's not a first round pick. Come on.
He could be. He could be, because if there's one part that the Lions feel like they can develop, it's offensive line. So I think that they just need bodies. That's something that they like to build their team around. And certainly with Jared Goff, you need all the protection that you can possibly.
I don't feel any of the guys we have left, whether it's an offensive tackle, whether it's an inside offensive line, none of these guys are round one picks. I think we have one center.
Raven Kidd moving from the teasing business to all but previewing, saying that the Lions got a mauler. So I feel as if, and I haven't looked, But I feel as if I'm correct in my offensive line.
Is it Matt Mahler?
Ah, that would be.
I have no
funny,
idea. I'm just guessing that name. I have no idea.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
There's no. If it's someone named Matt Muller, then they are reaching.
I was gonna say
D3.
I thought that you were talking about somebody that is outside of the first round. I was like, I guess so, maybe. You know what's funny? I know that this is not necessarily. We're kind of killing time. Oh, here we go. Lions.
No, we got the whole Make-A-Wish
Their
spiel
pick's not in.
first.
Their pick is not in yet.
The Lions pick is in.
Is it in?
They're at the
Oh, okay.
podium.
Yeah,
We're
okay.
just
We're
going through the Make-A-Wish spiel.
That's Matt Mahler.
I'll say it.
Yeah,
We don't need this. Good for him, but we don't need this.
We don't need what?
I hate. This is the worst.
you
time.
hate Make-A-Wish kids.
This is the
What?
worst.
What did you just say?
That is not what I said.
Oh
That's
my
what
God.
Phil said.
That's what I heard.
Oh, controversy.
This is the worst time to say this hot take, but I hate that they have gotten
careful.
so many people to come up in the first round to do guest announcers.
You just hate Make-A-Wish kids.
Do it one time. Let only the Make-A-Wish kid do it. I don't need 7 Hall of Famers popping up every 3 rounds. And the Lions select Blake Miller.
Look at Phil, man.
Tackle out of Clemson.
I told you. Blake
Lots
Miller.
of starts.
That's a reach.
6'7", 317, reliable right tackle. I don't.
That's a reach.
It's a little bit of a reach, but I don't think it's that much of a reach.
Whoever-
I think
The woman that's not presumably his mother on that couch looks real confused.
I don't.
Yeah, it's all right.
But I think it's a good pick.
Had him projected out in the 3rd round.
Wow, that was
The
too far.
3rd round.
Yeah, that was too far.
That's
Had him projected as a number 7 offensive tackle in this draft.
That's
Come on, man. This guy. Nah, this is a reach.
no.
This is the second bad pick of the 1st round, in my opinion. This is a reach.
That's I have him as the fourth best offensive lineman in this offensive tackle in this class.
I will say
Uh,
ESPN does have his overall rank at 52.
I have him at 44, so they have him even higher than I have.
So
Look, I mean, if you're going to go out of anywhere, I think that there's a few places where you can trust offensive linemen. It's kind of like when, whenever back in his heyday, you actually kind of did not want to pick defensive players out of Alabama because Nick Saban usually wrung out all the juice and productivity out of his defensive players. And then you got them and they were less than what they were able to produce out of Nick Saban. However, whenever you picked up offensive linemen out of Alabama, that was usually a successful hit rate. And I think that you can attribute that also to Clemson and Dabo Sweeney, offensive linemen out of Clemson, usually, knock on wood, usually have a higher success rate than not, as Clemson tries to play with the big boys. Minnesota Vikings, their pick is in. This is a team that certainly has adjusted on the fly, brought in a little quarterback help from the outside.
Wow.
And with that, they're
Wow.
going on the defense with Caleb Banks
out of Florida.
out of Florida.
We're getting to the point now where we're really starting to see differences between people's draft boards now. We're
thanks.
starting to see some people here. Like right now, this guy is 34 overall on the ESPN draft board. I think for us, he is 37. So, there it is. I think we're kind of at the point now where people are really just going with whatever their gut feeling is based off what they have seen.
Some bad guts.
I don't know if I love this pick, to be honest.
Well, look, where did the Vikings? I mean, the Vikings last year, their biggest inefficiency was quite simply at quarterback. And if it wasn't that, it was potentially the running back room. If Jeremiah Love had somehow fallen to an achievable level for the Minnesota Vikings, you could have seen them try and trade up. But once he's gone, I don't think that you feel secure in any position that you go. And so if it's here or just addressing the defensive line where you are feeling less than, I think it's as good a pick as any. I mean, especially once you get towards these 20-ish picks, you're probably talking about realistically glorified second rounders that are just getting picked in the first round.
I think we've talked about it a lot tonight. A lot of people have been talking about it basically every waking moment leading up to this draft.
Me, myself, personally.
This is going to be a very bad draft. A lot of people expect this to be a very bad draft. And I think that it's not a deep talent class. A lot of people don't have a lot of faith in this draft class. And I think this is where we're starting to see it because everyone we're not even in 20 yet. Philip's over here trying to say that it's okay to draft second rounders with the 18th overall pick. More often than not, you see it on the flip side where people are getting drafted 33, 34, 35, and people are trying to push them into the first round. We're already going to the opposite, and we still have 13 picks left in the first round. This is not typically where you start seeing this many reaches, but I think people are they're so underwhelmed that they're like, let's just take whoever we think is best and go from there.
I mean, here's the kind of talent you're looking at for the 18th round and on. Is that let's take the 2023 draft.
18th round?
Or sorry, the 18th pick and on. You look at the 2023 draft. So this is, of course, the one headlined by Bryce Young, CJ Stroud, Will Anderson, Anthony Richardson, Bijan Robinson, Jalen Carter at the top here. So there's talent here. Even Jahmyr Gibbs, again, we talked about him at 12. Whenever you're looking at the rest of that draft, starting at 18, you're looking at Detroit drafted Jack Campbell. Okay, maybe. Tampa Bay drafted Kalijah Cansey. You got Seattle Seahawks over there drafting Jackson Smith and Jegba. So there's a gem. There's a gem there in the later parts. But you also immediately after have the Chargers picking up Quentin Johnston. Zay Flowers, I know over there, Luke Wright is underwhelmed. He's not sniffing those flowers. He thinks that they are stinky weeds. We got Jordan Addison. Mixed results. Mixed results. Okay. Yeah. Deontay Banks, Dalton Kincaid is potentially a success story out of these later rounds. So when you're looking at these at some point, I'm more enthused about what you can potentially do because you even look towards the second round of again this 2023 draft. To the first pick out of the second round was Joey Porter Jr. as a cornerback. You look at Sam Laporta for Detroit. So I can reach in the second round with these later first round draft picks, knowing that if I hit them, if I'm correct, even if I'm just taking potential and possible production for later, that at least bare minimum, I'd rather take a high-end production guy who fits a need, and also I have the ability to get a fifth year option on. Is my thought.
I just think that if you're I'd rather take a pick on people falling than reach up when we're still in this range. Caleb Banks coming in, one of the biggest knocks on him is injury history, inconsistent impact. If you're not able to be able to like show that consistently at the college level, I believe he's coming out of Florida, if I'm remembering correctly.
You're correct.
Florida just as a whole was inconsistent this year. I don't want to take that swing on that type of player. I want to take a swing on a player who showed great results at a lesser program and hope for that rather than a guy who is already struggling and he's at the college level and he can't stay healthy.
Well, that's why you draft Bucky Irving and have him on your fantasy team. We look at the Raven kid.
Unnecessary.
We look at the Raven kid joining the text line. Mark Ingram is going to give those Steelers fans hell tomorrow for the Ravens picks.
The Panthers select Monroe Freeling, tackle out of Georgia.
The offensive linemen, they took a while to start going, but now they are going off the board. Raven Kid saying Vikings pick is a very Seahawks pick. Also take that as you will. I don't love it. And then Raven Kid says, I don't like the fit for the Panthers selecting Freeling. They just keep throwing darts at this position. Look, I mentioned this before, and it's absolutely, oh wow, Cowboys making another trade. Wow. They're trading their pick to Philadelphia
in division. Philip has officially lost.
Yeah,
the trades pick.
I'm surprised. I am quite obviously. Yeah. So Philadelphia receives the number 20 pick. Dallas gets number 23 and 114 and 137. So again, we're probably looking at fourth rounders, I believe. Fourth rounders.
About there.
Tanner also having an astute opinion here with the Vikings that Kevin O'Leary Kevin O'Leary. Wow.
Isn't that the guy from
That's
Shark
Mr.
Tank?
Wonderful,
That is
yeah.
the guy from Shark Tank.
Kevin O'Connell, excuse me, is heading up the Vikings draft right now, as the Vikings do not currently have a GM.
Do you think they're going to get one?
I'm sure, again,
They
maybe
fired him
maybe
quite a
it'll-
while ago.
maybe it'll be Kevin O'Leary himself coming in. But Kevin O'Connell, I'm sure, will have a say on who the GM is here sometime after the draft. Also, now that we're kind of ending the near of end, while the Eagles have traded up and are waiting to see where they end up. One thing to mention, as it's been a while since I've talked to you boys, and last we were talking about interlocking. We don't need to talk about that issue
Wow.
specifically, but for the Patriots, I do think we are.
Makai Lemon to the Eagles
Wow.
to replace AJ Brown.
But see, now in Philly, that makes sense.
Okay, but hold on. So if the Eagles, so this was exactly where I was going. Actually, the Patriots are supposedly getting a hold of AJ Brown, with a first round pick. What we are not sure of as of this live stream, as of this draft, is whether or not that first round pick will be this very year's first round pick, which I would assume so, because it's the least favorable first round pick you can almost get.
At this point, I'm assuming it's not going to be this one.
Wow.
If it was going to be this one, you're not drafting. You're not drafting.
Why not?
Lemon.
Well, because the Patriots would be then drafting. It would be an NBA like drafting on behalf of somebody, where you see Kobe Bryant holding up a Hornets jersey, where the Patriots very well might be drafting somebody with their 31 overall pick, and it's a ghost pick on behalf of the Eagles. I wonder.
Oh, I'm sorry. I got things
Yes.
crosswired here.
By the way, we had Harris Hicks about Triple H is going to join us in a second here.
Okay,
so
very
get
nice.
ready. He's coming on right now.
Fantastic. Makai Lemon, by the way, also hitting my over on Criers. Look at that. That man is sobbing behind some sunglasses.
He's not sobbing. He's thinking, this is a great city for me. I got a lot of people I can rip off over there.
I love Jalen Hurts over there not throwing me the ball.
Uh-oh, there's Triple H.
Triple H.
Triple H, you've lost some weight there. Oh,
Oh,
I cannot
And
hear
he also
Triple
needs
H.
he also needs to go unmuted, perhaps. Let's see if it's on his end or our end, but we are facing some technical difficulties. While we're waiting for that to be figured out, Triple H, whenever you get a chance, you can always kind of just pipe in, and we'll see if these tests will make it so that we're able to hear you. First of all, you look fantastic, sir. I've joined the mustache crew for the moment, at least. So I'm
Let's hear him. Can he speak?
I can speak.
yeah.
Ralph, I think you muted me intentionally.
Triple H can hear whether or not he's on mute or whatever. But while we're waiting for him, I'm excited that we're both mustached men here. I'm curious. So I think it would be a crime to not address the elephant in the room, Triple H, is that we feel here that it might not be the biggest surprise of the night, but it certainly was the first, in that your Tennessee Titans, your beloved Tennessee Titans, went kind of off the board, at least for where we were in this draft room. At number 4, taking the first wide receiver, Carnell Tate. Now, we all thought that he was by inches the best wide receiver of this draft, but to stay at number 4 and get him over Arvell Reese with a defense as bad as the Titans, even Sonny Styles, you could have even made a case for Caleb Downs. Instead, they go offense. If we got a hold of your technical difficulties here, Triple H, explain yourself. Explain your team's thought process.
First off, Phil,
Can't
you
hear
were
him.
great.
Still can't hear him.
He's coming through. We have a signal, but we can't hear you. That's really weird.
Can you hear me now?
That is very interesting.
No, we still can't hear you, Triple H.
Go off and come back on. Let's see if we can deal with you that way.
Yes. While I wax more poetic here, I am also very curious to
be
hear
waxing.
what he'll think about the Chiefs coming up and drafting a cornerback, and not one of his 2 Tennessee college cornerbacks, picking up Mansour Delane, seeing if he believes that those cornerbacks were so much less than that Mansour was the clear and best cornerback that the Chiefs traded up, and we still have not hit another cornerback.
Yeah,
at this point.
we're still waiting. We're still waiting to. Oh, YouTube can hear him. It's just us who can't hear him.
That's interesting. Appreciate that, Tanner.
Yeah,
Keep
thank you for letting
keep
us know,
posted.
Tanner.
But yeah, it's interesting still to this point. We're in the 20s. We have officially entered the 20s. The Eagles have of course taken Makai Lemon. I guess we didn't discuss this while we're waiting for it.
I know why.
Oh,
Get back on, dude.
Okay. Did you say that you liked the Makai Lemon pick?
No, I'm saying I don't like or dislike it.
It just exists.
It just exists. I'm very curious to see how it's going to work. This is one of those situations. They still have Devonta Smith.
Devontae Smith, they traded recently for Dontavian Wicks from the Packers.
Yeah, he's going to be your third. I'm very curious to see how it's all going to mesh with each other. I think that he's kind of small. He's only 5'11". He's not even 200 pounds.
5'11" is Makai Lemon.
Are you there, my friend?
I hate you.
I'm there. Can you guys hear
There
me?
we go.
There we go. Triple H. All right. We have moseyed around enough. I need to hear your take on Carnell Tate.
First off, Phil, you look dashing.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, you look marvelous.
It's the Broncos. It's the Broncos jersey, I'm sure.
Yeah, I think that Ralph muting me, I think it was intentional.
Talk again? Oh, look, you're muted again. All right, now go ahead.
I mean, the Titans getting Carnell Tate at 4. I was a little bit surprised. I understand the logic, though, because Cam Ward's a young quarterback, now entering a new system. And so the ability to go receiver there, it makes sense because you want to ensure that his development is first and foremost. Carnell Tate's also a baller. He was really, really good at Ohio State. And so I don't hate the pick. Lots of Titans fans do hate the pick. Personally, though, if I were the GM, I would have gone Caleb Downs. I think he's the best player in the draft. The Cowboys have won.
On that we all agree. Or
Yeah.
I agree.
Wait, can
don't know
I
if
ask you a
go that
question?
far.
Of course,
The
Ralph.
Rams taking Ty Simpson. Is that a reach?
We talked about the first surprise. That has to be the biggest surprise of the night is Tyson.
I don't even think he is a first round draft pick. I think he was overhyped by the media big time. And then he goes 13. That's a reach.
I think your anti-SEC bias clouds you.
No.
I think I'm actually a Ty Simpson defender.
No.
And my reason being is if you take out Ty Simpson and even put in Keelan Russell or Austin Mack, that Alabama football team is like 5-7. Like he carried that Georgia game, the amount of 3rd and 11s, 3rd and 12s that he got and converted. And that run game wasn't even like average for college football standards. It was terrible. I don't use the word lightly, terrible. And so when you have a team that can't run like that, all the safeties understand that you're going to get a lot of 2 high, 3 high looks, and it becomes tougher to throw against that. And Ty Simpson was still dotting people up very routinely. And so I actually think the Rams nailed it there. With Ty Simpson.
This is why I don't talk to you anymore. Exactly why, dude. This is ridiculous. Oh my God.
So you talked earlier about Caleb Downs being your best player in the draft. I would agree with you. He felt like the only talent that was not only assured, but felt like a Hall of Fame worthy talent. The Cowboys trade up just a spot to swap picks with the Dolphins to get Caleb Downs. Do you feel like he will be an effective piece to be able to upend the down spiral that the Cowboys defense has really been stuck in since the beginning of last season?
Oh, yeah. That secondary has been maybe the worst in football these last couple of years.
One moment here, Triple H. We do have the Steelers pick is in. It's Max Ianekor out of Arizona State.
Another former ASU great getting drafted in the first round.
Great.
Amen.
Great. Oh my
Amen.
God.
I mean, yeah,
I'm gonna
he's the
throw
first
up real
round
quick.
pick.
Raven Kid saying Steelers are shunning their pick from how bad it was.
There's so many ways that you could have phrased that kept the exact same message, except for one word, and you went with shunning the pick.
Because I didn't think about it before and I was just going to read it. And so I had to stick with the SH.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's where we are. Okay, sorry. I apologize, Triple H. It was worth the break in. But you were saying, excuse me, Caleb Downs is able to fill out the rest of this Dallas defense?
I still think, they have their shortcomings at corner. I think is a position where you need to address in terms of just finding guys who can lock dudes down. But nonetheless, it is a step in the right direction. And by the way, what a day for ASU football. What a day to be an ASU football fan. 2 guys in the first round.
Is that twice as many as USC?
As many as Tennessee.
We still got the convict. The convict just got drafted. What are you talking about?
Wasn't that the first?
Yeah.
Speaking of Tennessee is sporting the next two best cornerbacks, but I wonder whether or not, because one of the bigger shockers, the first trade of the night was with the Chiefs trading up to get their first corner of the night that we have not seen any others in Mansour Delane. I'm curious because personally, Triple H, if there's a team that you can find that does a position group well, it's the Kansas City Chiefs crafting gems out of the cornerback room with late round gems, kind of equivalent to the Steelers being able to generate diamonds out of wide receivers. You look at other teams such as the Eagles being able to generate good offensive linemen. But the Chiefs trading up for a cornerback, was this cornerback worth not only trading up and giving up substantial draft capital, but also being this far and away the best cornerback compared to your two top Tennessee cornerbacks?
I think Delane's really good. I would not say he's as good as Jermod McCoy. I had Jermod McCoy rated very high. But I mean, Mansour Delane was, you look at his Florida tape, man, he's all over the place. Like, he's an absolute stud. And they had him in the box, in the slot, everywhere. And that LSU defense was put in a lot of really bad positions. And they really relied on those man corners to get him out of some bad positions that the offense put him in. And they constantly delivered. So I love the Delane pick. 6, a little higher than I thought it would be, honestly, but I see it there. And Kansas City's got a great track record here, so I like the pick.
Last one before we start talking about just general winners and losers here, I think. The biggest, I would say, shocking fall, just overall shocking fall of the night would be Ruben Bain. Coming in at number 15, halfway through the draft. Guys, he looked a little like, I don't know about, he peeved, it does it justice, but he certainly looked upset upon getting picked. Maybe not to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers specifically, but certainly at the draft spot that he got picked. Did you find that this was an appropriate fall from where at certain points in times he went as high in certain mock drafts early in the offseason at number 3? Now he's coming in at number 15.
I wonder what happened in those interviews, man, because a few months ago, we were talking about Ruben Bain and the conversation to be taken number 1 overall. And then he just keeps slowly falling in mock drafts. I have no idea.
Chargers draft Akeem Mesidor, edge out of Miami.
Speaking of Miami edge rushers.
Speaking of Miami edge rushers, there we go.
Yeah. Mesidor is a good pick, too. I mean, I think that's great for the Chargers. It's a Harbaugh pick.
I would have thought they would have gone wide receiver, actually, in a wide receiver draft class that has a couple of them and having none seemingly. I
think it was a rough year, but Ladd McConkey is still, I think, good. And I think Quentin Johnson took a huge step forward last year.
Huge step forward.
Yes.
I mean, a step forward from nothing, I guess, is something. But like, golly. I'm sorry. We got distracted by the actual pick here, Triple H. But you were saying Ruben Bain's. I mean, yeah, going all the way down to 15 to Tampa Bay. Do you like the fit?
Yeah, I mean, I like the fit overall. I think the talent is just going to precede itself. And edge rusher is one of those where it's easier to evaluate because it's such a one-on-one position. And so, I mean, the production is there, the athleticism is there. I think ultimately this is a good pick for them. I do.
All right. So biggest winners thus far. We are only 22 picks in now, but feels somewhat safe. I mean, unless another team comes and trades in for, I don't even know, Garrett Nussmeier and the last pick of the
Cardinals. Better not be another quarterback.
Cardinals are dumb.
That would be really dumb.
Yeah.
I mean, Simpson was dumb enough. That would be really
They're
dumb.
playing backfired when they couldn't get Simpson. And so now they're scrambling to draft Nussmeier.
There we go with his cyst on the spine. But I guess thus far, I guess we'll leave ourselves a little bit of wiggle room here. Triple H, who do you think has had the best night improving their team coming away from this draft?
Dallas. I mean, I know I mentioned that, but Dallas got the best player in the draft at number 11. When do you ever see that happening? I mean, that's a guy who Nick Saban ruled Caleb Downs as a starter, as a true freshman. Like, it took like a couple months. Like, dudes that are starters for Saban as freshmen outside of Evan Neal, But Julio Jones and a bunch of other dudes that have just CJ Mosley that have done so well. I mean, it took him 2 months to name Caleb Downs the guy. And that's how telling how good that guy is. So I think Dallas won.
I would argue the Giants, though.
Really?
I like what the Giants have done. You don't like what the Giants have done?
I like what they've done. I was just thinking of disagreeing with you. Just all right.
So then, speaking of disagreeing, who do you disagree with in this entire draft? Who's walking away, maybe not worse, but just walked away with a troubling pick, perhaps, or something that you, I suppose, also qualifying for this could be a team that you disagree with not being in it, such as perhaps like the Bengals, like trading away Dexter Lawrence. I mean, trading for Dexter Lawrence, trading away a number 10 pick that they could have gotten Caleb Downs, I suppose. Who do you think is walking away from draft night the worst off?
I'm not a huge fan of the Caden Proctor pick at 12 for Miami. And I know Caden Proctor's physical traits are like off the charts.
Big boy.
Yeah, huge. And a lot of the production just was so spotty, so inconsistent. I'm not sure if I trust Miami to be out there developing offensive linemen, and this is going to be a pick that like he might even need to sit year one. He's that type of guy who might have to wait a year. And so, I don't know how I feel about that. Probably Miami at 12 is the biggest loser for me.
Okay, well, there we go.
Yeah.
So we got Dallas back on the board. Again, doesn't seem like it. The Raiders are always eligible to do something stupid. So they might, trade back into the end of the first round and then trade for
Drew Aller.
Drew Aller, absolutely.
Garrett Nussmeier.
Yeah, maybe get Diego Pavia.
Oh, there we go.
There we go.
Diego Pavia.
Pavia,
Wow.
yes, get some extra value there at the end. But Triple H, thank you so
No,
much.
he's staying with us.
Oh, he's staying with us for the rest of the night?
I don't know how long, but he's going to stay with us for a while.
Okay, fantastic. I thought,
Unless you want to leave, that's up to you.
No, I want to stay.
Okay,
Of course
fantastic.
you do.
Oh,
We love you.
Okay,
Why are you trying to get rid of him, man?
I thought we had an in and out.
That's ridiculous.
I thought we had to get him to
You
a
just don't
sponsor.
like him.
I
I understand the SEC stupidity that he has inside, but other than that, I mean, he's all right.
I
Us
think-
mustachioed men, we have to stick together.
Phil might be scared that he's no longer the best mustache on the show.
Oh, wow.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that is something. All right. So on the chat and the socials, we got Cardinals trade from Ravenkid. Cardinals trade in and take Carson back at 32, like the geniuses they are. Now,
Oh, my gosh.
I
They're
don't
going
think-
to take that mobile home disaster. Come on,
my
man.
goodness. Yeah, absolutely. That does
Mobile home disaster.
You think about it.
That does open up an interesting question, though. So we had an inner dialogue here on the show, Triple H, about Jeremiah Love being number 3. Now, Ralph has the rare ability where he both predicted it and also called it stupid. Where he said, how I predicted it was because it would be the stupidest move that the Cardinals can make. So therefore, that's what was going to happen. Do you think the Cardinals are doing the right thing as opposed to doing things for the headlines?
I mean, who's starting at quarterback for the Cardinals? Is it you, Phil? Is it you, Ralph?
We're set, man. What are you kidding me?
Oh,
He's going to get a $50
He's
million
He's going to be playing against the 11-man box.
Jorts man himself.
He's going to be amazing.
Gardner Minshew, baby.
Now that Simpson can't start.
Okay, Cowboys pick at number 23 is in. Malachi Lawrence, edge out of UCF, is now a Dallas Cowboy.
Well, somebody has to be.
They need all the just hitting the defense this time. They are.
It's what they need.
Yeah, and Dak they trust, George Pickens, and of course CeeDee Lamb. They feel like they're already set.
Not a fan of this pick.
I didn't see Malachi Lawrence mocked in a lot of first rounds, honestly. And so I don't know if you guys did. I didn't see him mocked in a lot of first rounds. So maybe this is like Jerry Jones's way of, we got the great pick and now we got the bad pick. So you have to cancel it out.
I mean, we had him as a second, third round pick. So.
ESPN has him at 54 overall.
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
First rounder is a bit. Yeah, my goodness, actually,
Who's owning that?
that would be Triple H.
Oh, okay.
He's getting insider scoops with Adam Schefter. He's in a collaborative effort.
Me and Adam Schefter are very close. Very close.
Perfect.
I bet you are.
Yeah.
Mhm.
All right. So there we go. That is a bit of a reach, but honestly, I mean, Triple H, even if Malachi Lawrence doesn't live up to the 23 value pick, I think you and I are both in agreement that you had so much wiggle room and a fall from grace that you could possibly get from getting Caleb Downs, who feels like he's going to have an effect similar to Kyle Hamilton, possibly even up to and including the talent of Ed Reed. That even if you just absolutely fumbled this 23rd overall pick, which you never know, it's hard to take a step back from just where you were able to get the safety.
Yeah, I mean, the Cowboys, the fact that they got Caleb, I still can't believe it. I mean, it's going to make Jerry Jones look like a genius, but in reality, it's just like a diamond just fell into his lap. This Malachi Lawrence thing, I'm surprised. I wasn't expecting it because would you guys say edge is a huge, huge need for the Cowboys? Or would you not?
They have a lot of holes on the defense. I don't know that it so yes, but also you could have told me the same thing of it was a huge, huge need to get some depth over at the linebacker position. They could always maybe obviously not safety, but they could go cornerback. I mean, no more
Raven
so
Kidd's talking about where he said there was a lot of hype over him for the last 2 weeks. He's talking about Malachi.
I believe so.
I mean,
yes.
John.
Yeah.
Not Malachi,
Yeah.
Okay.
So to answer your question specifically, Triple H, I think the defense was a blaring weakness that they needed to address. I don't know about edge specifically.
If that's your, this is where we need to at some point shorten the picks even more. But let's just start blowing through them because let's be honest here. At this point, people are just throwing darts already. We're in the first round.
Been throwing darts since 13.
Apparently, this is kind of one of those things. I've said this previously. I think this is people not really having a lot of hope for the draft as a whole. And so we've kind of gotten to the point where we are just going to start taking these long shots, taking these guys that like, hey, we don't really need anything else around here. We don't think we're going to get this guy unless we draft him right now. Let's just go ahead and take him now, even if he might not be the number one talent available. He fits something that we think we need. And so let's go ahead and just pick him up. Because, yeah, at this point, it seems hard to believe that you couldn't pick up McCoy. You couldn't pick up Hood. You obviously don't want another safety, so I understand skipping out on the people left there. But
Yeah.
I mean, you could have gotten Anthony Hill is still available.
Yeah.
You still have Caden McDonald, like Keldrick Falk, Cassius Howell. Like there's still so many other good defensive talents available.
Yeah.
And I just don't know why we're already at the point where we're taking people that probably shouldn't be going until the middle of the second round anyways.
Yeah, and Anthony Hill, that's a 3-year starter. That's like a captain as a freshman or sophomore on Texas's defense. Cassius Howell might have been the best linebacker in the whole SEC last year. He was calling the shots. And that A&M defense was so much better. But the reason why I bring that up about them, like, do they really need an edge of all positions on defense is because they signed Rashawn Gary. And so I looked at that, I was like, well, why are you going after edge? You have so many weaknesses at linebacker and corner. There's a lot of good corners available. And so that's where my mind was going. Like, why would you go after edge there?
Jerry Jones forgetting who's on the roster.
Perhaps he's getting old.
We know this team typically doesn't know how to draft, so Cleveland's up next. What mistake do you think they're going to make next?
Oh, man. Well,
we saw the Shedeur Sanders mistake. We know that was a mistake. So what's this next one?
What do you mean you think Shedeur Sanders was a mistake? Wait, Shedeur Sanders did start a game. So
I
you
didn't
lost
have
the
that.
bet.
He did.
He only started because the other guys both broke their legs or was in a plane during a crash or something. I mean,
Oh, you're just coping. You're just coping, Ralph.
come on. Come on.
With the Browns, I mean,
This could be a wide receiver. I mean, I expected more wide receivers to be gone by this point in the night. Denzel Boston is
yeah, from Washington, he's a huge. Him or
projected to be the
Bradley.
next wide receiver off the.
Concepcion from A&M.
Is
I love
also another
Concepcion.
late
That
first
guy's
rounder.
awesome. Love
Awesome.
Concepcion.
Let's see.
Oh, hey!
Oh, there you go.
No, I did not. Is it?
Casey Concepcion.
That was a total.
That's so funny.
There you go.
There we go. Ralph the Savant.
Wow.
Casey Concepcion. So explain Casey Concepcion over there, Texas A&M, Triple H.
Wow. Well, Ralph, I got to give you props, man. You saw it coming. Casey Concepcion's got an amazing story. Like I don't know if you guys saw, he had a stutter when he was young and had this post where he was talking about it. Super cool guy off the field. Just wanted to say that. But I mean, he was awesome at NC State, and then it shows up at A&M and balls out against high-level competition. There were a lot of times where Marcel Reed would just look to him to get open whenever no one else was open, and he always got open. His route running is awesome. So I think this first-round pick totally makes sense. You're talking about a guy who's, whenever he goes to a team, the offensive production increases, such as NC State. And when he left, NC State got dramatically worse on offense. A&M got dramatically better. I think it's a lot because of him. So he's a stud. Well, I like this pick.
Yeah,
I like his hair.
he's got some sexy hair.
He's got a thing.
All right, so the Browns address the offensive side of the ball. We're now moving to the Chicago Bears, who have had an up and down offseason where certainly I think as close to a win as a loss could ever feel, right? Where the fact that they were able to make it to overtime against the Rams in such impressive fashion with just an absolute miracle play that had they won would have lived on in infamy. Now just kind of becomes a lost layer as time goes on. But have had some offensive line departures, even though they've tried to steady that up for Caleb Williams. I wonder if that's where the Bears head right here with the 25th overall pick, as it is announced that their pick is in. Triple H, do you agree that offensive line would be somewhere where you'd assume that they go here?
Offensive line would be the first position. I would say, that's what they need, especially with, ensuring Caleb Williams is healthy. He was under pressure a lot last year. I think top 5 in NFL quarterbacks amongst percentage of snaps under pressure. But you look at who's available on the offensive line. Well, Miller from Clemson got taken, and a lot of others got taken. Fano from Utah got taken. And it's like, well, goodness, at this point, who do they take? The one that comes to mind is Caleb Lemieux from Utah. But other than that, that could be a reach in the eyes of a lot of people. You saw him going mocked in the second round. So you probably go defense here. That defense wasn't necessarily perfect. I think you could go anywhere in the D line, could be good. There are a lot of dudes available. I like Peter Woods from Clemson. I think that could be a good one. Kendrick Falk, is he available? I should know this. Is he available from Auburn? I can't remember if he got taken or not.
I believe he is still available.
Kendrick Falk wouldn't be bad. He's a good athlete. He got a lot of pressures.
Might be a bit of a reach, but what about Kalen Rutledge? I mean, a lot of people have him in the second round, early second rounder, but especially with their needs and departures on the interior portion of that line.
Nobody cares where anyone's projected anymore. We're just throwing darts at the board.
Has a bias, has a message to go out. He wants two things. He wants you to follow the value picks, unless he specifically disagrees with you, which is more than likely an ASU or Boomer Sooner. And additionally, wants the damn clock to be done because some of us gotta go to bed.
Yeah.
Tell me I'm wrong.
It's only 7:27 right now.
But can you imagine it being 10:30 at night?
No.
On a Thursday, and we still have 7 more picks to go.
This round is moving.
I'll admit, I do like that they're going in the right direction here. Because there was a time where we would still be in the middle of the first round,
right,
and we'd have another hour and plus to go.
Yep.
So I think we are moving in the right direction. But no, I think that to get us back on track here, yes. I do think we're kind of obviously you can always pick whoever your guy is, but we're kind of running out of offensive players to even select at this point. Nobody left in the first round should be picking quarterback. There should not be another quarterback pick.
No. Can we talk about the quarterback position? Because I think a lot of people are familiar with them. Do you find any of these later round picked quarterbacks viable for a starting position, Triple H? Like, are any of them even projects to be a viable starting college? Think of maybe a Jalen Milroe for the Seattle Seahawks, where I think he's a quarterback that I think the Seattle Seahawks would look and want to be eventually their week 1 starter.
at some point.
Hmm.
Is there a quarterback, maybe Garrett Nussmeier? I mean, again, he feels like a medical ticking time bomb. Carson Beck has all the experience in the world, but I don't know if he's more than a glorified backup.
Uh-huh. Yeah, Carson Beck's might be older than Ralph.
That's funny.
I would say, oh man, I might get some pushback for this, but
Yeah, you will.
Diego Pavia might be the third best
I was
quarterback.
wondering if you were going to say
That
him.
might be the craziest thing I've ever heard.
I might be.
Actually, be the craziest thing
And you
I've
just
ever
met
heard.
him, and he's crazy.
I've talked with Triple H.
I'm
before.
sorry, I didn't know that.
You met Diego Pavia? Oh no, me.
You
I didn't know you had met him.
Okay.
multiple times.
Really?
Once in front of you.
Really?
Hey,
Yeah.
Hey,
Wow, I don't remember.
that
that.
guy went on.
On the last draft show.
1 year ago.
When you guys were at the
that's
spot.
Right. I forgot. I'm sorry. I'm old.
Yeah, I
I
met
forget
Luke.
things.
No, I'm aware.
It's all right, Ralph. It's okay.
But Diego Pavia is really like because I think there's a couple in there that can be a project, but the 5'10", like people were clowning on Kyler for being 5'11",
because he's not.
and Diego Pavia is who you think could be a starter in the league.
Make the case here, Triple H, because right now I don't have him being drafted. But I think if his intangibles, I think unquestionably are what's tainting him above all else. I think in a world where Johnny Manziel got drafted in the first round, Russell Wilson got drafted, where Kyler Murray got drafted #1 overall. I think that his height would not be a killer anymore how it used to be. I think what's killing him and making him undraftable is his temperament and attitude. Am I incorrect here, Triple H?
So the Bears pick is in. Do you want me to go on my deal?
We see it.
Okay. All right. By the way,
Jordan
good pick.
Tenement out of Oregon, the safety. Bears take the best player available per most.
As they should.
Yeah,
have.
yeah.
Great pick,
Good
by the
job, Bears.
I'll put that out there. But my opinion on Diego Pavia, I think wherever that guy has gone, he's had complete and utter. The team has had night and day production. Like New Mexico State was horrendous. Nearly got their football team lost. Like that bad. He goes there. They win 8-9 games. They're averaging like 2 wins a season. He goes to Vandy. Vandy's like 2 wins every year. We know that. They're at the bottom of the SEC. Winning 6 games is remarkable. I don't know if you guys understand how crazy it is that Vanderbilt went 10-2 last year. And they didn't necessarily have a great defense. And when you watch Vanderbilt offensively, a lot of quarterbacks coming into the draft, it's RPO, meaning the offensive coordinator says, you're going to read one read here, the linebacker. If he crashes, you're hitting the receiver on a slant. If he sits back, we're running the football, you're handing it off. That's it. The amount of free reign that Diego Pavia got at the line of scrimmage was an amount that I haven't seen from any of these quarterbacks in this draft class, not even Mendoza. So the OCs trusted that guy to make calls at the line of scrimmage so frequently and so much. His work ethic's there too. Teammates love him. Look, I know he's like 5'9", and I'm not saying that Diego Pavia is going to be this NFL Hall of Famer. But what I'm saying is after Simpson and Mendoza, I think he's the third best quarterback in the class. And he's a bit brash and he talks a lot of trash. Honestly, I think it's pretty cool. I think he's authentic. He's himself. If anyone has a right to dislike Diego Pavia, it's me. I saw that guy do the Heisman pose in our checkerboard end zone while beating us by 20. But I got to give it to him. He backed up everything that he said. The production's there. The amount of freedom that he has at the line of scrimmage is very rare these days. It's like things we used to see 20 years ago. So I think he's the third best quarterback in here. Yeah.
Speaking of nothing in particular, Buffalo trades their pick to the Houston Texans. We'll get Texans get the number 26 and 91. I've missed the rest of it, but also the 49ers are attempting to trade out of their
So
pick
we're
27.
at
But
4 trades and we're already looking at maybe 5.
Yeah, no kidding. Texans have traded up though. They are currently on the clock. Their pick is in at number 26 after the Bears have taken the best available safety on the board at pick 25. So here we are.
Is it your guy from Tennessee?
Carson
McCoy?
Could be. I love Jabad. I think he'd be a great
I can't believe he's still available.
I know. I don't know why he's still available. I mean, he was top 10 pick. Had he not gotten injured last year,
Yeah.
this is a top 10 pick in the draft, I believe.
Texans could be in play here for Denzel Boston as well. They've got Hank coming back, but he's but Lord knows that.
Did somebody say the Niners are trying to trade out?
Yeah, Shefty.
Oh, Shefty said that?
Yeah.
None of us have the authority to otherwise say so.
Oh, we have authority.
I do. I have John Lynch on speed dial.
I see.
Maybe talk for yourself.
Wow.
The only other quarterback that I think, and this is not for the first round whatsoever, but I think it's worth. I think the Anthony Richardson of this particular draft, as far as quarterbacks go, that will be a high ceiling prospect that I don't know if he ever reaches that ceiling, but he certainly has a lot of the tools physically to grow potentially.
You got some chats to catch up on.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, you do.
Good.
You do it.
Would be Taylon Green out of Arkansas. I don't know if you agree with that, Triple H, but
Niners traded out.
Niners traded out.
The Dolphins.
But the Dolphins, why are the Dolphins trading it?
Because, somebody they wanted just kept falling.
I guess so. But again, the Dolphins to me are very much in the position of trade back or take whoever's best available at wherever they are. Trading up to me, unless it's pennies to trade up, I don't understand why they would necessarily.
Raven Kidd is telling you that Drew Aller is the third best quarterback in the draft.
In his humble opinion.
Oh, I don't know about that.
I've been so underwhelmed by Drew Aller. Like at certain points during his career, he was projected to be the next best quarterback. He was supposed to be the number one overall quarterback.
There was talk he was going to be number one this year.
And during this season, I think he was projected to be the number one quarterback. Certainly, Fernando Mendoza wasn't there. Kalen Rutledge out of Georgia Tech has been taken by the Texans.
Smart play. They need any help they can get on the offensive line.
If they want to,
He's got red hair. I don't like him.
Oh, he doesn't like gingers. There we go.
You know what, gingers?
I'm kidding.
If there was ever a team that needed to, it's certainly the team that has CJ Stroud of all immobile quarterbacks running around for his life that they should be getting help. And of course, San Francisco does indeed trade their pick to Miami. Miami is now on the clock, currently at 27. Buffalo, of course, having traded back, is now behind.
Really active draft. Right?
Yeah, no kidding.
I told you guys. You guys didn't believe me. You guys made fun of me.
Well, we do that
so
anyway.
I never
get number 30 and 90 for this pick that the Dolphins gave up. So a third rounder, actually, and of course just trading back 4 spots. Wow.
3 spots.
3 spots. Yes. And the pick, of course, is already in.
Now people are understanding. All right, we got to go to bed.
Yeah, we're done. It's already 10:37 in Pittsburgh. Especially, this is what always blows my mind. I don't mind sitting from the comfort of our studio here, watching it, talking about it with people. Like, that's all fine and dandy, but you could not pay me enough to go stand out in Pittsburgh at 9 o'clock at night,
Good point.
watching other teams draft. I could not do that as a fan.
I just couldn't go to Pittsburgh.
Does anybody?
That too.
Does anybody remember how did the Chiefs have the 29th overall pick? Because I thought that they traded that to Trent McDuffie. Oh no, wait,
they got it
the
for
Rams pick.
Trent
That's
McDuffie.
Yes. Thank you.
Yeah. Trades go backwards.
Yes, I know. Hey, Mr. over there.
No, I'm in the same boat as you. Trust me, I get it. I get where the confusion's coming from here.
Again, to your point, this has been a very active NFL draft. I think that this is the draft that we were promised last year. I think that last year they were thinking that this was going to be a trade heavy day, and then it was just a clunker. This year,
Because it's mediocre.
It's
The talent's mediocre.
That's what everyone's just like. Hey,
it's all SEC guys.
Let's
It's
just-
mediocre.
yeah, let's get what we want now.
Oh, never ceases to amaze,
To
Ralph.
continue the conversation while we wait for the Dolphins pick to be announced here, I actually really like Luke Altmaier.
Oh yeah.
From Illinois.
From Illinois.
He's a good player.
First of all, best first name in the draft. By far and away the best first name in the draft.
Luke?
Yeah.
It's a horrible name.
Hey, take it up.
Horrible person.
Take it up with Jesus Christ in the Bible. Checkmate. But
Yeah, but you'd be more on the demon side, so it's totally different.
that's a gospel. you're talking about there. Better watch yourself. But I do think Altmaier, he showed some really good potential. I think the thing that I like kind of most is he was constantly getting better every year. When you kind of look at what he did, especially specifically in Illinois, when he started to actually like get starts, he went from almost 1,900 yards, 2,700 yards, 3,000 yards. His touchdowns continue to went up. His interceptions continue to go down. His completion percentage took a little bit of a dip in his second year and then shot back up to 67.4% in his last year. I think that's just, it shows that he is willing to learn and grow in the role. And I think that he's not the biggest guy, but he's really good on pre-snap reading, and he's able to go work through his progressions. And that's something I think that a lot of offenses are stressing more and more. Can you just go through a progression checklist? Can you read the field before the snap, and can you go through your progressions? And I think that Altmaier can do both. He's never gonna, he's not gonna have a Lamar Jackson game. He's not running for 200 yards and 5 touchdowns or anything like that. But he's able to kind of make you miss a little bit. And to me, he's
the one
pick.
guy, late round pick that you find might have potential to actually accomplish something in this league.
If I'm the Cardinals, I would draft him in like 3 to 4.
That's crazy.
3, somewhere in that range.
The only thing I like out of Illinois is basketball related.
Luke,
have-
look at the game. Luke.
Their basketball team's awesome.
Where's my love for the game?
Look at the screen.
Where's your love for it? Oh, Tanner, I'm awake, aren't I? I have such a love for the game. I called off work tomorrow.
That's
I'm not even going into work tomorrow because I wanted to make sure I was awake and ready for this. Chris Johnson,
cornerback out of San Diego State, is the guy for whom the Dolphins traded away a 3rd rounder with the 49ers. And now, as a personal affront to you, Triple H, they disregarded your cornerback tandem out of Tennessee and went all the way down to San Diego. As somebody who had his own guys rated pretty highly, how do you find this move for the Dolphins, who find themselves in the bottom of the draft perennially?
Yeah, I don't see it personally. I'm gonna read something to you.
Please.
This is the Dolphins receiving core next year. Tutu Atwell, Jalen Tolbert, Malik Washington. Their tight end is Greg Dulcich. I get that you're in a rebuild, but you still paid Malik Willis a lot of money. Why are you paying him that much money?
Another trade.
If you're not going to address a trade.
Buffalo Bills are
one.
trading
Another
to New England. Wait a minute.
wow.
Wait a minute.
Mike Vrabel giving up all the day 3 picks so he can go to counseling.
Nice.
He's drafting Steven Rossini.
So then that's fascinating. So I guess
I don't know. It might be a locker room problem.
I think your intuition is right here, Luke, that the Patriots are going to be giving up a future first rounder to acquire AJ Brown, if that reporting is correct. The Patriots trade up, interdivisional trade. There's been a lot of interdivisional trades.
Very rare to see that. Now we're seeing that. Yeah.
Is this our 3rd tonight?
Interdivisional?
At least our 2nd.
I think it is.
Cowboys and Eagles, I know that, right? They made a trade. If I'm
Is
not
that the
mistaken.
only other one, actually?
The Giants and Eagles, one or the other.
It was Cowboys and Eagles were one. Was Giants and Cowboys the other? No.
Could have been, but we've seen more. We've seen more than in years past in the first round, without a doubt.
So we have 6 trades, and we still have the Cardinals needing to get back in to draft Diego Pavia.
Or Taylon Green.
Wow.
Or Luke Altmaier.
One of the 3.
Hey, I'm not hating on Luke Altmaier, by the way. I think that's a solid take, Luke. He was a good quarterback for them.
There are lots of things that are solid, but some of them go plop in the toilet.
Wow.
I bet you're familiar with that.
Wow.
Yeah.
Caleb Lomu.
All right. So the Patriots allow the Bills to make 2 backward moves in this draft already themselves, going all the way back to 31 and acquiring the 125th overall pick. Correct. That is a fourth rounder. And no, I'm sorry. That's right under. That's a third rounder. That's a horrible third round.
No.
Late third.
Is it?
32 times 4, 136.
Yeah, it's a third rounder.
Third rounder.
Oh.
It's the second to last.
Fourth round.
Yeah, no, it's fourth round.
Fourth round.
I can't do math.
128.
It's all right, Phil.
What was the pick?
Your mustache makes up for it.
Yeah. Stop trying to do math over there.
Chief on the clock with,
There's Caleb Lemieux.
with the Rams pick that they got. Here we go. Here we go, gentlemen. 29th overall. They've already addressed cornerback, which has only been addressed once since. It took
Twice.
21 picks in order to. Did somebody else get a cornerback?
Oh, no, I'm sorry. Maybe
Yeah.
I misheard what you said.
21 picks since they last selected a quarterback or cornerback. Excuse me. That would be great. Now they're on the clock. 29th overall.
Pick is in.
I do not believe that they will be going offensive line. I feel like they feel short up on that side. I do, however, feel defense. I would be shocked if it was tight end, even though they will certainly have a need. I feel like if they do address tight end, that will be in the later rounds.
It's funny how the Patriots got an offensive tackle after what Seattle did to them in the Super Bowl. I mean, I understand it. They need to get an offensive tackle.
So
Interesting that I think across the board, everybody would agree that Denzel Boston is the best player available. However, the Chiefs.
I don't know if I would agree with that.
I wouldn't agree with that. I would say Jermod McCoy is.
Okay.
So to shed some light on the Jermod McCoy situation, over the last couple of weeks, some NFL teams, like in doing the physicals, reported some problems in his knee. So some think that there's still some long term, because I think Jermod McCoy, fully healthy, is a top 15 pick. I mean, you look at that Tennessee.
Top 20.
Tennessee runs all man under Tim Banks. It is a man cover one, typically defense. And Jermod McCoy was very responsible for that. And the moment he got hurt, because Tennessee couldn't find a substitute at corner and they rely so much on those man corners, their pass defense fell from seventh least yards per game passing to 98th.
Wow.
Just that one injury. So I think with Jermod McCoy, he is a great man corner. He can lock you up, but there must be something in his knee that unfortunately some teams are seeing, and maybe word got out, because that's the only explanation for why the Dolphins would take a guy like Chris Johnson over Jermod McCoy.
Did Combine needed a 4.440, right? So
4.38. Yeah. He was 4.37. I think he was athletic measurables, absolute 10 out of 10. So yeah.
Ooh. Knicks are down 2-1.
is he coming back from ACL?
Yeah, he is. He tore his ACL in an off-season workout.
Oh.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So
And
durability concerns. Okay.
He was supposed to be back. Like, people talked about him being back week 3, week 4 of the season, but there was always stuff coming up. And Tennessee was really, really low key about all of it. We didn't find out anything. Fans were wondering why. So I have a feeling that something's going on. I could be wrong. I'm not Adam Schefter here, but maybe something.
It's a pretty far fall for him. I mean,
And I'm wondering if it's the same. We saw this last year with Will Johnson. Cardinals ended up getting him in the second round because of those knee injuries he had. And then look what happened. He didn't even make it halfway through the season.
Yeah.
I think he only ended up playing 6 games or something last year. And teams just literally just saw what happened when elite cornerbacks get knee injuries.
Yeah.
And they don't want to play that game.
Yeah.
I was talking to Phil about this earlier. We're seeing teams really start to kind of get picky about those small things, especially in a draft where, you know, if you already don't necessarily have a high opinion on the draft class as a whole, it's probably not going to be the year where you want to take those risks with people with short arms, with people that might be tweeners of positions, with people that are having injury issues. So I'm wondering if we're just seeing, you know, we've already seen several players kind of start to fall because of things that we didn't think would be that big of a deal.
Yeah. Yeah, and the Jamon McCoy stuff it's just been really, really odd. Like we haven't found out a lot about it, which tells me that there could be something there. Same thing with he's not a corner, but Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah years ago, he was supposed to be like a top 10 pick, and then all these physicals come out, and he falls to like the 3rd round. It's just a very interesting thing.
Triple H had that pronunciation off the rip. He was proud. He was that's like once you get onto Antetokounmpo, you're like you just want to. Yeah, you talk to somebody who's not familiar with sports, and you're like, hey, how do you say that name? Dummy. No, it's Antetokounmpo. How could you ever pronounce it any other way?
And Goodell is approaching the podium for the 29th overall pick from the Kansas City Chiefs. We are running out of picks, gentlemen.
Another cornerback? Possibly.
Could you imagine the double rookie backfield?
I think didn't they just do that with Trent McDuffie and L'Jarius Sneed?
Peter Woods, defensive tackle out of Clemson. They will not be doing it.
They will not be doing it.
Honestly, I can see it. They really want to shore up. You're playing, especially in a division where you're playing against 3 run-first teams. You absolutely want to shore up your defensive line as much as possible.
Not this guy, though. Come on.
He looks completely unenthused.
Man, it's late.
Oh my
I
god.
had him ranked 50th overall.
And Pittsburgh's on Eastern time. Yeah.
Exactly. It's almost 11 p.m. over there.
Gosh.
Oh, we got another trade.
My goodness. They trade the pick. The 49ers do. They're trading it to the Jets. The
Interesting.
Jets.
Are we about to see another quarterback?
Could be with their stupidity. I mean, that's very possible.
If it's a quarterback, it's undeniably Garrett Nussmeier, right?
It's Diego Pavia, Phil. Come on.
Oh, come
How
on.
could I?
I mean, it's the Jets.
Peter Woods was on a delay. That's why. Because he looked completely unenthused at the time. But now that's crying. That guy's crying.
Why does his chain says woo?
You gotta
He's going to woo.
whoop that trick.
Covering him. I think that's his last name.
Oh, Woods. Oh, I see.
Yeah.
No,
I think it's just Woo. I think he's repping Ric Flair.
Woo!
Maybe
Or
they
Brian
call him
Woo.
Woo.
In order to draft the man, you got to beat the man.
I think we could just gone with the regular. Oh, the Raven kid. The Jets are gonna Jets. Wow. I think I called it. I'm not sure, but Raven kid's teasing me, and I feel like I might be right. I can hear the phone beeping from the Jets' crazy take.
Triple H is going wild with these notifications, and I can only assume that's with people that are having this spoiled for them.
That's his girlfriend telling him, where the heck are you?
That one actually was my girlfriend.
There we go.
I know
Gosh,
these.
darn it. I'm going to put it on Do Not Disturb. I didn't know you guys could hear that.
Every single time.
So do we think
it sounded
it's
like Mike Vrabel's phone?
So do we think that wow? Do we think this is just Garrett Nussmeier then?
All right. Before us knowing that this is Jets are gonna Jets, I would have assumed that this would be probably a lineman because that's where it would have made more sense.
I legitimately thought it was a quarterback from the get-go.
I mean, they traded back in. Again, this goes to show you just how valuable that 5th-year option is.
Yeah.
And how thank you, Adam. It goes to show you just how valuable teams are perceiving.
Oh, I know who this
5th-year
is.
option. Here we go.
Not
The
saying
Jets
a
are
word.
selecting with pick number 30. Roger Goodell is saying it. I can read his lips. Diego. No,
This
it's
is for Gino.
Omar Cooper
Oh.
Jr., wide receiver out of
Ooh.
Indiana.
Great.
I told you he was going to get into the bottom of this round.
Great.
It is interesting. I think that they knew that Las Vegas would be heavily incentivized to if for some reason Omar Cooper Jr. was available there at the top of the 2nd round, that they would pick him just simply out of giving a familiarity, out of helping out Fernando Mendoza get acclimated, coming in and knowing that you've got a guy there who potentially can let everybody else know. Now the Jets, knowing that, used that to their advantage and traded back in to the 1st round. One would assume utilizing their top of the 2nd round pick. And honestly, on the 49ers, I love the moves. Thus far, the 49ers, even though they have not traded, or excuse me, even though they have not taken a pick this entire first round, I got to admit, I love what they're doing here because what have we lamented this entire time? These are just guys. None of these guys are outstanding spectacles of feats. And so if you're getting more draft picks and you're not having to pay first round premium picks and you're able to keep it on, acquire more draft picks, good on you for just moving back, acquiring more and getting more ammunition. Go 49ers. Jets. Okay.
Let me ask you this, Triple H. What do you think of Jadarian Price?
I like it overall. I mean, I like Jadarian Price.
Second, third round?
Yeah, I don't think that would be that bad, honestly. What do you think of Jadarian Price?
I like him a lot. I think he's underrated. I think he's a pretty darn good prospect. I mean, he was behind a great running back as well, but I mean, I think he did a good job with what he was given, and I think he could be really good in a two-back system, which is what he's used to.
You know why Triple H? You know why he's asking about?
No,
Price.
I don't think Seattle should draft him at any point right
Oh.
now.
They're going to.
No, they're not. Seattle probably trades back because they only have 4 picks in this draft, so they're probably going to try to get a couple more. I would assume.
One more. That's why I'm saying. I think that they're going to trade. I think that they were hoping that Ty Simpson had not been drafted at this point because they would have been prime real estate for, again, the Cardinals to come in. That they were going to be potentially where the 49ers were allowing the Jets to move up to in order to allow somebody to come in towards the end of the first round and gain a fifth year option.
Right.
I think that that's where they would have elected to go so that way they can get a
They would have had fun if the Cardinals would have asked, and they would have been like, "Of course, we'll let you do
Did we
that."
get another trade?
Remember they moved back twice, so they're
Yeah.
Well, why is it showing the Titans?
Oh my gosh,
there was another trade.
I severely underestimated this at 2
Wow.
trades. My goodness.
Wow, that's a
Don't
lot of,
ever doubt me about trades ever
Uh-oh,
again.
the Titans.
a lot of Titans.
Are the Titans going to draft Diego Pavia?
I
Have
hope
you
so.
seen enough of Cam Ward?
Everyone has.
I do think we will see on air something X-rated if Triple H gets the Tennessee Titans to draft either Colton Hood or McCoy gone, but Hood drafted right now would be just absolute. We might not even see anything on the screen anymore from Triple
No,
H.
this is going to be Jermod McCoy. They're going to go hometown.
You'll get me jumping in my pool.
Tennessee guy going to the
I'm
Titans.
holding him to it.
Watch.
He's dinged us enough.
The
we
fact
need
that
to
he's
see
still
him.
sitting there, I'm telling you, this would be a good pick for them. You take a chance.
They traded
Oh,
back in.
they're taking a while.
It might be Boston.
If
No,
the-
that
if
would be
this guy's
crazy. 2
healthy-
wide receivers.
Now, if this guy's
That would be
healthy,
so
this guy
dumb.
is like a Debo Samuel. This guy, if he's healthy.
Omar Cooper, you're saying?
No, Jamon McCoy.
Debo Samuel?
He's Debo Samuel-esque.
You mean Asante Samuel?
No.
You think the cornerback is like
I know it's a wide receiver, but think about the way he
Oh.
moved. You know what I'm talking about?
Just small.
no?
Okay.
Not really.
A small.
Then just forget what I
bulky
said.
guy.
I know what I
staunch.
meant, but okay.
I can't track it. No. I think, by the way,
Yeah.
the Jets having an underratedly good draft. I like
stop
Sadiq. I like
You didn't just
Stop
say
it.
that.
Oh, get out of here.
having a sneaky good
I
draft.
like Geno Smith too.
Dare I say it?
You
All
dare?
right, Tennessee
Yeah.
Titans. Their pick is in, having
second
traded
to
in.
last pick.
My phone is currently blowing up, so I have a feeling.
Well, you should probably itch that feeling.
Get ready to jump in
He's
the pool.
clapping.
Get ready to jump in the pool.
Oh man.
Let's see. Titans pick is in. Roger Goodell's encouraging the booze.
That's not a bad pick.
Haven't seen it yet. Oh,
Keldrick Falk.
Good pick.
All right.
He's another guy that's been sitting there that probably
Yeah,
shouldn't be.
Yeah, I think it's fine. Like I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I
Very
think-
Titans pick. It's
yeah,
fine.
you needed him.
Yeah.
You need talent, just period across the board. So
Uniforms, those are ugly as heck.
No, they are not.
Oh my gosh, those are
You think they're
brutal.
ugly?
Brutal.
What?
They're UFL.
Oh,
Come
don't
on.
talk to Jeffrey about the UFL.
All right, here we go. Last pick.
The Super Bowl champs. Let's talk about the champs. You know what they need? Not a whole lot.
They
really don't.
What they desperately need
Is nothing.
is to trade back.
Yeah, because they
they
really
need
don't.
more picks.
They don't need anything.
They don't need anything. At
They
a
really
first-round
don't need
price.
more picks because they don't really have a lot of open spots.
You're right. They're perfect.
No,
There's
they're not
nothing
perfect,
wrong.
but
No,
they just
they're
don't-
perfect, Ralph.
They
You're
don't
right.
have. You know what? The
You're
one thing
right.
they need. I'll
They-
give you one thing that they need.
No, they don't need anything.
They one thing, and they don't need it in
No,
the first round.
They're going to win the Super Bowl
they
the next 5 years in a row.
They might. They need a right guard. That's what they need, but they're not going to do that in the first round.
Offensive line's perfect. Probably the best in the league.
And Raven Kid loves this pick for the Titans. Loves it.
I like Keldrick Falk a lot.
I would love it. I would absolutely love, the pick Keldrick Falk. Phil, obviously one of the last few guys remaining in the draft waiting room. So let's see. Sports Girly on the chat line saying that they need an RB. One assumes she means
But
the
not
Seattle
here.
Seahawks,
But not here.
but also could apply to the Titans. So
No, Seattle
That's
needs a
true.
running back, but not here.
The Titans need it.
What do you mean? They can get your boy.
Not in the first round. I like Jadarian Price, but not a first round.
there's some value in having a running back on a 5th-year option. There's some. I mean, if it's your own, you didn't have to trade back into the first round. You naturally got into it. I can.
Tanner
If no-
Grind could always use a kicker punter. That's true. That's
they can't.
true.
They have the best punter in the game, and they have the best field goal kicker last
They have
year.
the best everything.
They
Best
do.
punter,
Well-
best kicker, best offensive line,
Let me go get that
best
Super Bowl trophy.
wide receiver 1, 2, 3,
Thank
best
God they-
quarterback, best running back.
Best head coach.
Keep going.
Yeah, best
Keep
tight
going.
end,
Keep going.
best tight end 2,
Best GM by
best
far.
GM, best
I
owner.
don't know about by far.
By
in a
far.
world where Harry Roseman exists, by far is a bit of a stretch.
Oh, not
No.
for me. It's not.
Philip, the Seahawks are the best organization.
That's why they
Of
went
all time.
undefeated.
That's why they won the Super Bowl.
Yeah, they went undefeated.
Ralph, has this been like the greatest sports year of your life?
It's been a very good sports
It's been
year.
the most annoying sports year.
Yeah, I can't.
Let me tell you.
Oh, the Seahawks are making the pick.
All
Are they
right.
really? Like pick. It could say pick
Diego
his name.
Pavia.
Oh my gosh, no.
If there was ever a moment that Ralph would question his fandom, it would be that.
Yeah, that would make no sense.
Carson Beck coming in right now.
Oh, that'd be so
incredible.
good.
Just
Well, he'd be a ball
mwah,
boy. He'd be a ball boy.
mwah. I would a chef's kiss.
Oh, Carson Beck. Yeah.
The pick is in. So if it's the Seahawks, I'm assuming Falk would have been position of just keep getting more, across the line. That would have been a
All I'll say is in John Schneider, I trust. Whatever he does here, whether he picks somebody or doesn't, that guy in the last 5-6 drafts just hits. So
I think you could go wide receiver 2 here. I mean, after Smith and Jigba, it's like there aren't really any weaknesses on this team. You could say Cooper Kupp, but he's getting a little bit older. Shahid's okay.
Shahid's okay.
Yeah, I
The
think
value he brings even outside of wide receivers what makes him great.
yeah, I mean, there's no weakness to this team.
Bobo, I love Bobo. If you don't love the name, I mean, come on, Bobo.
From UCLA is really good.
They're stacked. And don't forget the guy that was hurt all year too. That's coming back next year. The speedster from Colorado State.
Torrey Horton.
Yep.
Yeah. It's just if I had to pick a weakness, ultimately that would be it. And there are some really good receivers available right now. I think Boston's solid. I think Brazel. I'm not just saying it because I'm a Tennessee fan. I think that guy's really freaking good.
I do think because while you have Rashid Shaheed for the moment, I mean, if you were to get Denzel Boston, it would be a very different flavor than what you have in Jackson Smith and Jigba. You'd have two different contrasting styles. He certainly wouldn't fulfill the role that Shaheed fills right now. So in theory, you can get all three on the field. Weirdly enough, to your point, it's Bobo that would actually be most hit by a Denzel Boston, as he is a big-bodied wide receiver, more so a possession receiver.
And they just signed Bobo. So.
I know. So
I don't think it's going to be a receiver. If they pick, I don't think it's a receiver.
Because it could be running back because you lose Kenneth Walker. But, I mean, other than Malik Washington from Arkansas, I don't see anyone who you would take this early.
You would take either Washington or Price. There's nobody else.
I think Malik Washington, by the way, that's going to be a good NFL player.
I think the only need that they have is running back. Like as far as
Right.
what they desperately need, what they need to address this draft,
And a right guard.
And I don't see them trading up. So if nobody was willing to trade out, I think that they hit running back here, just to fulfill.
If there's a corner there that they like, they'll go get him.
All right, who is Roger Goodell using as a meat bag in front of him to cover up the? Big
I don't know, but he is hammered.
Yeah, he is.
Must
Either
be a
Harvard or absolutely.
Yeah, you know, Luke already throwing darts at Make-A-Wish kids. I would wait before.
Look at him.
before he
Look him right now and tell me that dude is not either high or drunk.
Yeah. By the way, Luke doesn't like Make-A-Wish kids. He thinks
Yeah.
it's horrible.
Luke, there might be something more.
I don't think so.
I think that's so far. I'm pretty sure you might have stepped in it.
Maybe.
I think you might need.
This could be a corner.
It's
too.
hard without any
Wow,
sound.
look at those
happening.
eyes. He is into it.
He
He's
is
in. He's
smoking.
into it. I think there's.
You guys need to be careful right here with your words.
I know. That's
I'm
what
gonna
I'm
tell
saying.
you right now. I'm trying to help you. You need to be careful.
I'm trying to help Luke. I did not say a word.
Although, if by helping me, you might be hurting yourself.
Guy looks like a wonderful gentleman.
That's
He
what
looks, he looks very happy.
I wish it would give us something. Guys, what happens if you're not, if you don't have audio? How are you
He's
supposed
yelling.
to know what's
He's
happening?
yelling.
I'll say this, Luke. I do not believe he's drunk.
He's not.
I don't think he's drunk. Oh, yep. There's the Make-A-Wish.
Two? We have two in one.
Nice going, Phil.
But Luke,
Okay, I know who it is. This is
I would
this is
hope
how
so.
smart
They're
this is how
announcing
smart
it right
I am.
now.
This is how smart I am.
Ty Simpson got traded.
It's Ty Simpson.
For Diego Pavia.
It's Diego Pavia. Jadarian Price.
No way.
You kept saying they wouldn't draft here?
I thought they'd draft him later.
The fifth round, the fifth year option for a running back is there's like three
I would have
positions.
drafted him later, but I like this guy.
The three positions that you want a fifth year option for anybody that is just insurmountable is the running back, the wide receiver, and the quarterback. Jadarian Price cements Notre Dame as running back U, as now they have the very rare honor of having and hosting two running backs being drafted in the first round. I feel like Georgia would be the only place that I could really think of that.
Bama might have done that.
Yeah.
Derrick Henry and like a Jaquiz Rogers or something.
This guy is good.
Maybe.
Jaquiz Rogers went to Oregon State.
Yes, thank you. Who am I thinking of? There's,
They had a slew of them.
yeah.
This
I
is a
mean,
very good move by
Jacob-
Brent Snyder. I'm gonna give it to him.
Yeah, he's
Because now
perfect.
you got
can't
you
make a
got
mistake.
you got Charbonnet coming back from his injury. It's gonna be a little bit, right? You know
I
that.
think Georgia may have had Chubb and Michelle.
All right, there we go.
There we
That's
go.
that's
That could be because Bama had a bunch of them, but they never went the same year.
They
So
just kept going one after the other.
one after the other every
yeah.
year.
As soon as one graduated, there was another.
Another one came. Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so I got a list here, and it's AI, so take it for what you will. Arkansas, Darren McFadden was taken 4th overall to the Raiders, and Felix Jones, 22nd overall in 2008. Auburn in 2005. Ronnie Brown, 2nd overall to the Dolphins, and then Cadillac Williams, 5th overall to the Bucks. That's crazy. Actually, that's crazy. 2nd and 5th overall picks. Wow.
Yeah, from Auburn.
And then Alabama in 2016, Derrick Henry and Kenyon Drake. Oh,
Kenyon Drake was a first round
no, he
pick.
wasn't. He was a second rounder. What are you doing?
Good old Google AI
Can
or
you?
whichever AI you're using.
Yeah, you know,
Well, that is the end of our first round.
And we ended it with a bang. So, who won today?
No,
Who had the best first round?
no
best
one.
first round. Are we saying it? I think it's gonna. I
Who
think
improved their team the most today?
it, without a doubt, then that's the Giants. Without a doubt, it's the Giants because
Not
do
the
I-
Jets.
no.
Even adding bodies. I mean, what did they add? 3 players?
They added 3 players in the first round, but the New York Giants. Do I think that any of these moves puts them definitely in the playoffs? Even no, I don't think that. However, if you're saying from where they were before the draft to
Yes.
where they are afterwards,
That's what I'm
adding
saying.
the first player potentially in their position on both sides of the line, it has to be the Giants. That's where I would start. If we're talking about who acquired a piece that put them into the championship contention from where they
Nah.
were to start this out,
The Rams.
there we go.
Big championship contention for next year. Ty Simpson's going to win it for him
I mean-
in 2031.
Raven Kid says, my Ravens had a great day.
I'd say who put themselves over the top. Honestly, I who put themselves into contention, possibly. I'd have to look.
Not even contention.
I would go with the Cowboys.
Come on.
I so respect Caleb Downs and think of so highly of his talent. And
But that one piece put them in
in
contention.
the current state of the NFL, what a legendary safety can do for you and how that can affect your overall defense in this current iteration of the NFL and their defensive schemes. Yes, I do. Luke,
Okay.
who do you think had the most impactful draft this year?
I always look at who. I hate trying to sit here and there and say Caleb Downs is going to be the next Ed Reed. I think it's just irresponsible to put that kind of pressure on a guy who has not stepped foot on an NFL field yet. So I try to look at how many people did one team gain that could actually actively contribute to their success this upcoming year. And for me, I think it might be, as much as I didn't love the picks at the moment, I think it would have to either be the Giants or maybe the Chiefs. I still don't necessarily agree with the first trading up for Delane, but at the end of the day, I think they got two fairly solid players on a team that just kind of needed more help on defense. And Spags is still there. He's still going to be a force to be reckoned with. And they were the team that kind of like the Spurs when they drafted Tim Duncan, they kind of just lucked into having any picks this high at all. So I think that this is a team that wasn't super far away. So in terms of what team do I think got closest to being a contender from here, I'd have to say the Chiefs, because they were already fairly close to being a contender anyways with Patrick Mahomes. In terms of what team do I think just added the most talent, I'd have to say the Giants, because again, you got arguably the number one player on both sides of the ball.
Ralph, why is it the Seahawks?
It's not the Seahawks. The team that did the most important thing for their organization going forward tonight. That's how I'm going to look at this. Who has made impact on their organization going forward where it's going to pay off in the next few years? That's the Raiders. I think Mendoza was the right pick. I think he will slide into that backup role this next year and learn under Kirk Cousins. And I think ultimately he will take this team over and run the scheme that they're going to build for him in that new offense that Kubiak will build. It's a great move for the Raiders. It's a great draft for the Raiders. Just doing that one pick, did nothing stupid. They did what they should have done. And you don't say this much about the Raiders, but I like what they've done in this offseason. I like what they did tonight.
I will say the team that I think did the worst was the Jets.
Because it's just added mediocre.
No, David Bailey, I think, was a great start. And then you proceeded to use a pick on a tight end that you really didn't need in an area where there were still a lot of other good players left. And then to trade back in for a wide receiver that, to be perfectly honest, again, I don't know if it was really worth trading back in for that when, again, you needed so many other pieces. I don't think that helped. I think you needed at least one offensive lineman, if not two.
How about Triple H? What do you think?
Dallas.
You're stuck in Dallas, huh?
The Raiders are up there too. I actually love what the Raiders are doing too. Like even Kubiak running, like calling the shots is great. Some of the receivers that they've gotten, Bowers is going to be there. Some of these young quarterbacks have been put in such terrible situations, thus haven't been able to succeed. Like when Mendoza eventually becomes the starter, he's going to be in a solid situation at the very least. And so you're going to have Bowers. Genty's there. That helps with the run game. So I like what they're doing. I think the Raiders and Cowboys are the two that come to mind. And I think the Jets had not great draft. I think they had a solid draft. I love Omar Cooper. Sadiq's explosive. Like you can use him in a lot of ways. That guy's like a little bit Kittle-ish, honestly. Not how he blocks, but how he's just able to destroy you after the catch. And I think Bailey, I mean, that guy gets after the quarterback.
I do like Bailey.
There's a reason Texas Tech had outside of Miami, maybe the best front seven in college football last year. Like they won 11 games with their starting quarterback having a broken leg and a mediocre run game. And David Bailey was the focal point of that defense, being one of the best run defenses in the country, near leading the nation in sacks. So I think the Jets had a good draft, I'll say. But Cowboys and Raiders is my decision.
Raven Kid says Geno isn't going to be able to get the ball to those two, so why does it matter?
They're preparing. They're doing the Raiders method. They're preparing to put the quarterback in a good situation in 2027. So he's going to have some dudes to throw to, like Omar Cooper. Guys. Like Omar Cooper after the catch was like the best receiver in college last year.
Yep.
And Sadiq too. So I don't know if it's going to be Arch Manning or whoever it's going to be in 2027, but
They're going to be,
Yeah. Honorable mention of best night, and I know this is going to be astounding perhaps to some, 49ers being able to trade back continuously out of a first round where you're paying first round salaries for second round talent, if we're all being honest, for holes that you need to just continue to fill to get cheaper and younger. I loved what the 49ers did, even though they didn't make a single selection tonight.
I don't think this is a good draft to have a lot of picks.
Well, that's why they traded it for future.
So I think like what Seattle did, right? Seattle they only have 4 picks. I don't want them to trade back and get more picks. You know why? Because what do you need to bring in? Mediocre guys? What's that going to do for you? Make you mediocre? I'd rather fill the need. I like what I like what Seattle did, because now they've got a plan at running back. They know what it is now. Focus wherever else you need to focus. I like that. I think it's a good move. So
worst draft overall. Triple H, I'm tasking you with going here first.
Titans.
oh,
No, I'm just kidding.
goodness, worst draft overall. I'm going to say Miami. Both of their picks, I don't agree with any, like Chris Johnson from San Diego State. I think that was a little bit of a reach.
Yeah.
I think Proctor is going to be
Traded up for Chris Johnson too. That's crazy.
exactly. Yeah, I think
You don't like Proctor? He's a beast, dude.
I don't know about the situation. I mean, he's so physically gifted, like one of the most physically
He's
gifted.
an Alabama guy. That's all this is.
What? What do you
He's an
mean?
Alabama guy. You just don't like Alabama.
I don't like
He's a
Alabama.
massive man.
I don't like
That can
Alabama.
move.
Yeah, he can move. I just don't know. There are times where he was getting dusted by some of these edge rushers, and Ty Simpson was under crazy amounts of pressure, and the run game would implode because Proctor wouldn't hit a block. Like, that run game could have been a lot better.
Okay.
And I'm not going to put that all on him, but I think it's 20% on him. And so, yeah, I think Miami, I would pick them having the worst draft.
I have a feeling where Ralph will go, but I'll give
Where do
it to
you think I'm going to go?
I think you're going to go all the way to LA and say that somebody had the worst draft over there. But maybe I'm wrong.
Exactly where I'm going to go.
There we go.
That was the dumbest pick in the first round, to take this wannabe media hyped quarterback. And this is, like I said, this is Jay Cutler 2.0. This is a media hyped quarterback that has no business being drafted on day one. None. Probably late day 2, early day 3 at his best. You watched him play, Triple H. He was not very good. He is not very good down the field. He wasn't very accurate short ball. The kid doesn't look like he's anywhere close to being ready to play the game. Not that he's going to be asked to do that right now, but I was not impressed with him one bit. I feel this is Jay Cutler. He's just a media hype quarterback that's going to be holding a clipboard his whole career.
Jay Cutler was a starter his entire career.
A very bad one for you guys.
Jay Cutler was one pinky.
He was only in Denver for like 2 years.
I was going to
2 or
say
3 years,
3,
yeah.
maybe?
Hey,
3 years.
Yeah,
Jay
maybe.
Cutler was one pinky finger away from the Super Bowl.
But he was so overhyped by the media that year. If you remember that combine, after that combine, that's all they talked about. And he went from nowhere to middle of the draft board all of a sudden.
Yeah,
That's
Triple
exactly
H.
what this guy did.
If you remember his combine results and his combine interviews, I'm sure that you Triple H remember him.
He
him
probably
at the combine.
does.
No.
Jay Cutler's?
Yeah. Were
I
you
was
even
a-
alive?
I was a little bit too young.
Yes. I
Jay
know.
Cutler's combine.
In the womb.
Yeah,
He would
probably.
know from the womb.
There we go.
Yeah.
SEC.
I'll go next while you muddle it around. I do think that the Dolphins trading up in any format of this draft was just a mistake. So I Triple H spot on there. But if I had to go second, I'm going to go with the Arizona Cardinals. Look, Jeremiah Love, I came into this draft telling all of you guys, I had 2 potential Hall of Fame talents that felt untarnishable. Like they felt clean as can possibly be. So therefore, the Cardinals picking one of them should have been a no doubter. However, I do not feel like they are a responsible enough team to handle getting a cornerstone running back. I feel like they're a team that would have been better off going running back by committee. I think that going across the defense could have been a more impactful win now move, and perhaps that's what they wanted. But we just saw this. We literally just saw this in a very similar situation last year with Ashton Genty, and I do not know what the difference is whatsoever outside of you have Gardner Minshew instead of Geno Smith. Is that mobility so much increased that you can somehow justify when Jeremiah Love just gets destroyed in the backfield all year this
Tell you
year?
the difference.
Oh, yeah.
You're not going to be an idiot and draft Jeremiah Love first overall in every fantasy draft this year.
You don't know me. But I do not love this pick for the Cardinals, as I do not feel that they are a responsible franchise that has earned the ability to warrant my my bravery and my confidence in them being able to host a talent such as Jeremiah Love. I've seen what they've done with Marvin Harrison Jr., and he's at a position that would have been less affected by a worse offensive line. So Jeremiah Love, through no fault of his own, marks the bearing of the worst draft in this draft. Goes to you, Luke.
I'm sorry, Triple H. I'm sorry.
I knew it had to be here.
I'm sorry to have to do this to you. I'm sorry, little one.
Little one.
The
Little one.
Titans should be fired. Every single one of them. Every single one of them
Start
should
the
be
draft
fired.
over again for them.
So you're telling me you traded back into the first round to draft an edge in Keldrick Falk when you had the 4th overall pick and Arvel Reese fell to you, and you decided to pick a wide receiver who the vast majority of people did not think was the number 1 wide receiver in this draft. I know some people were. I know that this was a close race, but I think the fact that it was such a close race is why it was so dumb to draft Carnell Tate. You needed so much help literally everywhere. Every single position needed help. I wouldn't have even been upset if you drafted a quarterback this year. You just needed talent. And instead of picking the best talent, you could have done Caleb Downs, Arvel Reese,
Sonny
Styles. I would have been fine with Spencer Fano there.
Ty Simpson.
There was so much talent still available. You couldn't have had it scripted for it to fall into your laps better at 4 than what happened. That was exactly what you would pray to have happen. And you go with Carnell Tate at 4. This is like the movie Draft Day, when the quarterback doesn't get picked overall, and so it starts spiraling out, and everybody's panicking and doesn't know what to do, and so they just draft who they thought they were gonna be able to draft without everything messing around. That's what it feels like is happening here. And then again, you traded back in to the first round to draft a player that's not bad. You got him at a good value, I guess, at 31. But again, you have so many needs. Why would you not get the elite player at that position at 4? And then you don't even have to trade back in. But if you do trade back in, then draft literally anything else. Anything else. Draft. I personally wouldn't draft Jadarian Price here, but that would have been better than Carnell Tate and then Keldrick Falk. Like, it just did not make any sense to me to waste a pick that you were gifted one of numerous defensive pieces. And then if you did want to go offense, go offensive line. Go anything else. To me, it was just a brutal way for you to start the draft. And I think
start your tenure as a new leadership in Titans era.
Exactly. So to me, they had the worst draft because they were given the best opportunities and they failed to capitalize on it, which in my opinion, I don't know if you were watching Triple H, but I literally said it would be so hard to mess up this pick. And then they immediately messed it up, in my opinion.
My hunch is I think the Titans wanted Jeremiah Love and he didn't fall. And they sort of panicked. I personally like the Carnell Tate pick. I don't hate it. I think he is the best receiver in the draft. I wish that Jeremiah Smith was a year older. But
Jeremiah Smith?
OSU wide receiver.
Oh, that
prodigy.
okay.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I wish he was a year older. That's what I'm saying. I think they solely wanted a skill player around Cam Ward. And offensive line is a good point. But which offensive lineman are you going to take there? I think what the Titans should have done was traded down. Because I think they could have gotten Tate at pick 10. I think they could have gotten Fano a little bit later, as we saw he went 9.
9, yep.
Yeah, I think
I was able to accomplish that.
Well, and I don't know, maybe nobody wanted to trade up to 4 because
The price
They might have tried.
yeah, that might have been it. And I would have been fine with that option as well. It's just I think you had a lot of options. Again, like we said with the Jets, it does not matter who you throw the ball to if your offensive line doesn't give you enough time to throw the ball.
Right.
All right, so we've discussed Carnell Tate. I'm curious if Triple H feels like he would be a contender for Offensive Rookie of the Year. I think this is a good thing to protect, perhaps start to end on. Has anybody changed their opinion on who they think will be Offensive Rookie of the Year, considering just on this first round? I certainly have, and I can go first. But if not, I think that Ralph, do you have?
I remember. Did I say Love?
You said Love.
Do you still feel confident?
No,
now
I
that he's
don't.
in
I
Arizona?
don't. Even though I thought he was going to go
Yeah,
there.
you thought he was going to go, but now
The more I'm
it's
thinking
changed.
about it, it scares me, and I can see him having a really bad year over there. So yeah, I don't feel that anymore.
Who do you feel?
Ty Simpson.
That would be truly incredible if he somehow were like, because he would be eligible. I just don't think it's
You know, Ralph's having too good of a sports year. He needs to be brought down.
no kidding.
Yeah,
No
it's
kidding.
not going to happen. I gotta think. You know what? Come back to me. I'll give you an answer.
I'll go, and it's so hard because you just have to throw in health. But throwing in health, and I'm assuming health will be there. I'm actually going to go with Jordan Tyson.
Oh,
Right in the spleen. Right?
truly shocked you said that.
I know. Jordan Tyson, again, I'm assuming health, which is very dangerous considering this. I would have a different answer, and I don't even think you would like my second answer. But Jordan Tyson would be my number one contender for that. Look,
That's just stupid.
I think he's
It's just stupid. But go ahead. I'm sorry.
my take or the player?
Both.
Both. I just wanted to set him up for that. You're welcome. Look, he's the only one going there with an established opportunity. I think that the Saints will be in a position of trailing enough times that he'll actually be highlighted. He's got a quarterback that at least they think is worthy of exploring on the chance that he's a franchise quarterback in Shuck. And again, he has the talent to be the number one overall wide receiver as far as talent. It's mostly been durability issues. If he's able to get out of bounds and not take any contact and avoid some soft tissue injuries, I think Jordan Tyson, taking a number 8, has found himself in a place where the defenses are in the NFC South are not strenuous. They're certainly very lax, especially in the secondary. So that would be my early value pick on who I think could be Offensive Rookie of the Year. How about you, Luke?
Oh, you're coming to me already.
Okay, Triple H. Who do you think would be Offensive Rookie of the Year? And somehow in all of my soliloquy, you were unable to come up with
I
something.
can go if
No.
Okay.
You've lost your privilege.
Okay.
Triple H.
Mekhi Lemon. Honestly, you lose A.J. Brown. You got a great quarterback there already in Jalen Hurts. There's a lot of targets, an efficient situation. He's going to have a chance year one. I mean, outside of Devontae Smith.
You're not worried about a crowded wide receiver room? For a non-pass heavy team already?
I mean, who is there? Because
Dontavian Wicks, big addition right there. Devontae Smith,
yeah.
and then they're bringing back Dallas Goedert. So they have some receiving options to ease him into the offense. But I mean, I'm not saying it's impossible that he could overtake a number one wide receiver role.
Yeah, and he was the Bolitnikoff Award winner last year, so he's a stud. He's already really good as it is. So situation checks out, talent checks out, environment checks out.
All right. How about you, Luke?
To me, this is a really hard one this year because I don't think that any of these players are going to be like the clear-cut number one option so far in the first round.
Outside of, again, Jeremiah Love.
True. Jeremiah Love's the closest.
Number one option in a weird.
But
weird
yeah,
way.
like as a running back, on a bad team with a bad offensive line that did not address the bad offensive line so far.
Yeah.
It's going to be hard for him to make his impact, especially in a division that is probably the hardest division in the league, in my opinion, right now, the NFC West, for at least the top 3 teams in a division. So it's very hard because Carnell Tate, he might be the number one option, but he's still going to be splitting a lot of touches with Ridley and DK. Jordan Tyson's going to have to compete a lot with Olave.
So your answer is?
My answer is
I'm hearing a lot of probably not this guy, but
I think I am going to go Jeremiah Love.
okay.
I'm going to change it. Originally,
I feel like he's the favorite. I would not knowing and probably checking it out. One has to imagine he's the favorite because he will be the highlighted option.
The only thing that I think that could
Betting-wise.
change that would be Cousins or Stafford getting hurt really early, like in the first 3 to 4 weeks, and then Mendoza or Simpson have to step in, and they have an okay season.
Zero chance that Fernando Mendoza doesn't just outright win that job,
No,
or
he's not going to win that job.
I don't.
0%.
Zero.
I'd say 1 to 2% chance. I think that he might earn it 4 or 5 weeks in.
Yeah.
But I think it would be very, very doubtful that unless Kirk Cousins starts playing like Geno Smith from last year.
Yeah, I agree.
Right. Because you don't want him to get him any of those hits either.
Yeah.
All right, Ralph, you seem to have a thought on.
My thought is I think the player that will win Offensive Rookie of the Year has not been drafted yet.
That's honestly fair.
Oh, yeah.
We also, because again, I know I kept bringing it up at least, but Boston hasn't been drafted, and I think that he's a very good possession right receiver. He'll be able to generate a lot of offense all his own, and if he were to land on the Packers or the Minnesota Vikings and show up as a number 2, that's
This will
certainly
be
a
the year
position.
his second or third rounder shines.
Honestly, your boy Price, I think
Price
is
was
not bad.
was my
He
honorable
could be.
mention.
Only because he's going to get a lot of touches.
He's going to get a lot of touches to start out the year. He'll start out as a favorite, and they'll probably utilize him, especially being a rookie. He doesn't have any attrition on him, and then
Wasn't even the main cowbell in college. He has so few miles on him.
If you give him the amount of touches that Love got last year, his numbers are almost identical. Look at him. He's 6 yards a carry.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I think that's
Love was 6.9.
I don't think he's he's not Jeremiah Love level, but he's still
He's production wise. I mean, he had 11 TDs. Jeremiah had 18. I mean, he had a lot less touches than Jeremiah did.
and there's a reason because he's not nearly as good as Jeremiah.
Well, I don't know if you can say that. I think Jeremiah is just really good. But I think if he was the feature back, I think we'd come back and saying this guy's really good. And he wouldn't have got drafted at 32. He'd have got drafted earlier.
I think you worry about his ball security issues, and again,
I'm
that's
not
something.
really worried about it.
I mean, that's something
You're not worried about anything. with
Seattle
the
fixes
Seahawks.
that.
They're perfect.
Oh,
Seattle doesn't turn the ball over.
Sam Darnold says that they fix it. I mean,
In the playoffs, he did.
towards the end of the year, but certainly leading
Remember,
over
that was
the
his
league in
first, that was
turnovers.
his first year
Phillip,
getting used to people.
the Seahawks don't make mistakes.
That's right.
Super Bowl, baby.
That's
That's all I'm going to say.
Defensive player of the year. I actually think that this is more up in the air than it has been in past years. Certainly in contention for who it could possibly be. Anybody want to go out on the limb and not pick? I don't even know who would even be the favorite here, because I wouldn't say David Bailey is, even though he's the first defensive player drafted. Possibly Reese. I mean, again, they go on as an edge rusher. He's joining a crowded edge rushing room. Does anybody have a strong feeling on who it can be? I mean, Triple H. It would feel disrespectful for you to not nominate the newly acquired Dallas Cowboy, Caleb Downs.
That was going to be my pick. I have a really sure pick on this. I think it's Caleb Downs. Defensive Rookie of the Year is different from Offensive Rookie of the Year. You don't have to look at situation as much. You can just look at sheer talent. And I think Caleb Downs is the best player in the draft, and I stand by that. Offensive Rookie of the Year could literally be, like you said, Ralph, like second round. That 35 pick by Buffalo in the second round could be where we see it. Like if they go out and take Boston or Chris Brazzell, and I'm not, again, just saying this because I'm a Tennessee fan, that guy is a really good player. That's where the Offensive Rookie of the Year could be. But Defense Rookie of the Year, I think it's Caleb Downs.
Raven Kid had an earlier comment where he said, or at least he believed, and I think that it was pretty astute, is that the Bills were on the board for Amari Cooper Jr. because if you remember, they traded down twice at near the end of there, if not 3 times, maybe I forget. But then the Jets, of course, took him and traded up almost immediately to pick up Omar Cooper Jr. So it's very possible that was who they were trying to get, as they've been trying desperately to address that wide receiver room year in and year out and never seem to quite do it. So that's possible. And I think you're right, Triple H, in that normally there's much more statistical interpretation that is easier for the layman to understand who is the Offensive Rookie of the Year, as opposed to for Defensive Player of the Year. My only problem is I think I think Downs is going to have a tremendous impact. I just don't know if it shows up. He'll need a lot of turnovers that I just don't know that perhaps he'll be able to generate all his own in order to win that.
Don't sleep on Arvell Rice.
Arvell Reese?
Arvell Reese, I'm sorry. Arvell Reese, because he's going into a Giant situation. He's pissed that it dropped to 5. That's a pretty decent defensive group he's going to be with. I think he can actually make a pretty good impact.
I thought you were going to go with Ruben Baines.
No, I like Ruben Baines at Tampa. I think that's a really good situation for him, but I really like Arvell Reese. There's something about that kid. I'm telling you, that's a good situation for him. I think he can have a heck of a rookie year. We'll see.
Explain why it's
That team is so nice and young. I like the pieces they put together there. They're really moving forward from where they've been. I just think they could do some making some noise, and I think he can help.
It's a good situation for Harbaugh to step into. Luke, we know where you're going. Explain why it's going to be Caleb Banks.
Don't ever talk to me again. I think that it's got to be David Bailey.
Okay.
And I know I'm not going out on a limb here. I
don't know that he's the favorite even. I mean, again,
he might not be.
He might not be because it might be Reese, actually.
It very well might. I think that, as we've kind of said, this is very different because you can just look at pure talent on this one rather than the situation. I do think that at the end of the day, the reason why, at the end of the day, I think David Bailey is going to have the best looking stats to get the votes.
Oh, so we do have odds on this. Do you guys want to? Well, I guess choose your player and then
I'm going David Bailey. I think basically he's going to be able to get enough sack numbers, and while I think that he might not necessarily have the best year when graded out, I think at the end of the day, those awards just love to look at verifiable numbers, and I think his sack numbers will be good enough to get him the spot.
So we have Offensive Rookie of the Year. I'll get to that once we're done with this. But where I was going to go is ranked number 4. All these are plus odds because we are so early in it. But I was going to go Sonny Styles because I feel like if there's going to be a highlight player that can go around and showcase what he's doing and affect an overall defense that we've seen the downside of it and then where it can progress to, I think Sonny Styles potentially can win that in a crowded defensive thing. David Bailey is number 1 overall with plus 470 odds. So there could be some value there. Ruben Bain coming out at plus 500 for the second overall. These are odds according to FanDuel, not a sponsor, but they can be. And then Arvell Reese at plus 700. One has to assume that it's almost too crowded an edge rushing room for him to really stand out and be attributed as the number 1 reason why they took a step forward. Because that's what it is. Sonny Styles, 4th overall at plus 850. And then Caleb Downs, just to round it all out, plus 850, tied with Mansour Delane. Delane.
Love that bet.
And then everybody else is down. To go back before we close this out, Offensive Rookie of the Year, Jeremiah Love is the favorite at plus 290.
Wrong situation.
I completely
It's the wrong situation, but I think so far, I agree with you. It's second round. There could be a lot of good picks in the second or third round, but so far, I think he's just going to have the one that has the pure volume.
Right.
Fascinating number 2, and it's close. So Jeremiah Love is plus 290 at plus 320. Fernando Mendoza. So they're saying that he's going to start for the majority of the year, if not right off the bat.
And that's what makes it slightly unfair is like Mendoza and
Is that just a popularity pick?
Yes.
I think it's a popularity pick, but I also think it's a quarterback pick. At the end of the day, the quarterbacks never have to play as many games or have as many, because the wins will always count for quarterback, like they won't for other positions.
To your point, I mean, he's in spitting distance of it, but Ty Simpson is currently ranked number 11 plus 3,300 3,300, excuse me. So he's far down the list, and that's the difference between where
he'll never see the field.
He'll never see the field in an ideal situation.
I really hope the Rams play the Seahawks and Ty Simpson just dots the Seahawks for 300 yards.
Like a goal line package that he
so good.
Oh my gosh.
He'll never get off the floor.
I forget who else we talked about. Oh, Carnell Tate. I don't think anybody took him, but he's ranked 3rd. He's ranked 3rd in odds on to win Offensive Player of the Year. Plus 650. Jordan Tyson comes in at number 4 plus 850. Mekhi Lemon, to your point here, Triple H, 5th, 950, and then now we're getting into really low. Yeah. And actually, with some value here, actually, Jadarian Price plus 1,300.
That's value.
I don't hate that. I don't hate it. That
I
is
know.
value. That is value.
He could run away with the job, especially since he'll be getting a head start with as far as the
Well, the
injuries.
Sharps won't be back till mid-season.
exactly.
So, I mean,
No, that's some really good value.
what Triple H say it?
Are there guys out there who haven't been drafted?
Denzel Boston comes in right ahead of Ty Simpson at number 10, plus 2,700. I find that to be absurd.
Is Chris Brazzell on there?
Who is that?
Chris Brazzell?
No.
Yes, he is at plus 5,000.
Yeah.
I do love that, honestly.
Put in the bet now.
Yeah, no kidding. Because it's only going to go down once they see the fit. I mean,
Right.
You're essentially running the risk, and potentially you can cash out because it's so high later on. Even if you do hate the fit, eventually, Marco.
Oh, yeah. Carnell Tate's in that lucky position of
Highlighted.
highlighted, and then like the number one, like the other competition in that wide receiver room is just not as nearly as tough as the other wide receivers so far.
He'll be like Malik Neighbors was a few seasons, where he's actually been since the beginning of his career, where even if it's his talent merits it in theory, but also because there's simply nobody else, you must. He's going to produce even if it's just out of sheer desperation.
They have
towards-
Wan'Dale Robinson. Put some respect.
Do they still? Did they re-sign him?
I actually think.
No, the Titans have Wan'Dale Robinson.
I was going to say how I think.
Oh, Wan'Dale went to the Titans?
Oh,
Wan'Dale's the Tennessee Titan.
Oh my
I
God.
was
The
gonna say-
Titans just got even dumber. You have the GOAT Wan'Dale Robinson and you drafted Carnell Tate? Insane.
Wow.
incredible!
Wow.
There's
some love
Luke
going
I
Wright.
can't even defend it, too. I can't even, I can't defend it.
Luke Wright, Wan'Dale Robinson truther, and Make-A-Wish hater. All right.
That's his new tag under his name.
Yes. Good done. All right. I feel, guys,
I think
we've
we're
covered
done.
this in every single angle that we could possibly do so. I know we have clamoring to continue this on going into tomorrow night. I say, hell no. But we will certainly have a few things. Yes, a few things to dissect on tomorrow's draft coverage. I think even by the time we hit air on Saturday, the third
Third round will have started.
Is it third? They only do
Or
the second.
fourth?
Yeah, I was going to say fourth round. will have
Whichever.
started.
Tomorrow is
day,
second and third, right?
Second
I-
and third.
do not know.
And then by Saturday, they should be starting the
They'll be in the fourth
last
round.
few rounds
Yeah.
there during the show. So we fear not. We will cover a lot of what has already happened, both in the first round that you've already heard tidbits of what we wanted to cover, as well as if there's any other thing. Maybe the Seahawks trade in to get to the top pick and go back-to-back running backs. Ooh.
That'd be
Ooh,
good.
that'd be some good stuff. And John
guys are
Snyder,
high.
in him we trust.
Yeah.
So
Hey, Diego Pavia would make a pretty good running back, too.
That's true. Low center of gravity.
Keep it
Low
that
center
name.
of gravity, that's right. Height isn't a concern. He's a gamer. He's a winner. Come on, Ralph. You know you want it.
And he's not drafted.
Yeah,
All right.
he'll be the most coveted undrafted.
He will
free
be
agent.
fantastic in the UFL.
I
He'll be
think
awesome
he'll be
in the
like the
UFL.
first round undrafted free agent rookie to be like signed. But
By
like,
the
there's
UFL.
nobody wanting to spend a draft pick. Anyways, I'm sorry. We will talk about this on Saturday, 10 a.m. Triple H. Thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate it. Who knew that Tennessee was going to be at the tip of our mouths all night long and for,
Tip of something, yeah.
varying reasons. Tanner.
Tanners, we want more.
I'm kidding. He doesn't want more.
Yeah.
He has to work tonight or tomorrow.
Yes.
Good work tonight.
But
Thank you, Tanner.
while Mike Vrabel might miss our Saturday show, we certainly won't. We'll be there. Triple H, thank you so much for joining us.
Wow. Special guest on our show Saturday, Mrs. Rossini. All right.
Mike Vrabel could still be in Cancun for all we know.
Back in Sedona.
More and more is going to come out about that, I guarantee you.
Oh, Garen.
There were some Titans fans years ago, like 5 years ago, in the Twitter sections saying that Mike Vrabel was bringing a mistress to all these parties.
Well, there you go.
Yep.
Titans are
These
on.
guys are plugged in, man.
They've got a
Titan fans
That's
are
why he
plugged
got
in.
fired.
Yeah.
Helping get their team plugged in. All right.
Yeah.
All right. Well, there we go. Thank you so much to everybody listening and
Thank you.
and joining our Raven Kid, Tanner. Thank you. Our sexiest commentator, Sports
Tanner?
Girly. Sports Girly.
Oh, okay.
Okay. And everybody else. Great day.
And everybody else. Thank you
Good
so much for
interaction.
joining us.
See you guys.
Great night.